All right, and 3, 2, 1, we are live. Bren, what's up, man?
Hey, buddy, what's going on? Welcome back, everybody, to How Copy Podcast, live from the belly of the beast, Vietnam, downtown Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah, man.
It's been a slow week, I think.
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
We didn't get as many waves as we went after, but
It was beautiful.
But on the bright side, you got some news you want to announce to everybody that you've fallen in love with BBC. Brennan loves the BBC.
I did say that. No, Buddy's got a longboard, and the thing's fucking sick nasty that he painted black.
Flat black.
He flat black. Calls it the BBC, and dude, that thing, it was so much fun. Like, I went out there and was just killing it.
Yeah, it was dope. It was good to see you catching waves finally, because you're on the right board.
The right board.
Grasshopper.
Yeah, dude, that thing is fun, man.
Yeah.
It was super fun. And now, you got me sold. I'm grabbing a new longboard because I have one, but I call it Warp Tour because the fucking stringers.
That thing is warped,
You look at it, and it's like, it's straight back here, but at the front, it's like this. So it's time to hang it up. I've had that thing for like damn near 15 years, and it sat in my backyard in Hawaii. It got rained on, and I'm sure it's got water in it. But
well, ever since I had that D-Lam spot, like I just got my Quiver Concepts longboard out of the repair because remember it hit the pier and busted up, and then it bubbled up on me, and the guy told me, you really, especially carrying them on the top of your car, you really need to cover them up. Put a sock on them or put them in a carrier. So
for sure,
from now on, I take the fin off that bitch. I paid too much money, and I love it too much to see it get dinged up and not be able to ride it. So
yeah, that's a good point. We live far enough from the beach. Like, I didn't think about it before because I had the minivan and just throw them inside the van.
Yeah,
but now that we're like they're outside of the car, definitely they need to be covered up. And it's just common sense. Yeah, because you hit a bug, even a bug at 70 miles an hour, it's going to put a little nick in the board, and it's a crack.
Or a dent,
And once you get water in it, it's pretty much just a amount of time before it's fucked over.
Yeah.
And
what do you reckon that happened to yours? The stringers are wood, so they got wet and they warped?
Yeah, but the crazy thing is like, I've never looked at it until recently, and I've been riding that thing like that for years, probably. Yeah. And I definitely realize it's waterlogged. Have you ever ridden a waterlogged board before? Mm-hmm. You can feel it. Like, once you get in, it feels good, but after about an hour, it starts to get sluggish.
Yeah.
And it just feels like you're giving it more effort.
Well, I thought the BBC was like that. That's why I went and repaired it. So I don't think it was taking on any water, because what I found out was NSP was the original creator of the board. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that they use a gel coat on the rental boards, like the one I showed you. And you're like, that's the ones you see on the beach that are for rent, no matter where you go in the world. They put a gel coat on the fiberglass, which is what they paint boats with. Mm-hmm. So it's paint. So, you can get a nick in it and you think you have a hole, but you don't. It's just a nick in the gel coat. So I think that was it, but it did feel sluggish to me. But I don't know. I think it was all in my head.
I'll tell you, man, I don't think they use this technology more, but it was a kind of popular thing in the early 2000s, that Tough Light technology. Mm-hmm. That Rusty board I have, man, that thing is almost indestructible.
Right.
And it floats. It's good. It's weird because it feels like it doesn't feel like a epoxy. It doesn't feel like a foamy, but it definitely has its own unique feel to it. And those boards do.
Yeah. But I'm not familiar with it.
It's like it's like a thick coat of plastic.
Oh, okay.
It feels like a boat keel.
Okay.
But it's paint. It got paint on the outside.
It might be a gel coat.
Yeah. Well, that sucks is I don't know how to fix that because it's literally paint.
Yeah, what the guy at the shaper at Hot Wax told me was you got to sand it all the way down until it's almost gray.
Oh, okay.
You got to get that gel coat, because I wanted to get the BBC restored like professional, like maybe get it reglassed or something.
How much did he quote you for that?
He said he wouldn't do it because I'd already spray painted. He said I got to take all the paint off.
Oh yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
I don't blame him. Yeah, I don't blame him, because in order to do that much work, I probably don't want to pay. Yeah, you're looking at probably you can just get a new board, and at the end of the day, it is an NSP.
Right.
I mean, brand new. It was. Is that dog?
She's crying.
Yeah. Brand new. It's like $1,200, and it's I got it for like $350, $400. I bought it used, so it ain't worth it. I'm just gonna. Do you see what I got that nick? I put the gash. I put the fiberglass over it, and then I was gonna paint it. And I was like, it's like a little window. You can look inside of it.
Like the little thing that you put shrapnel on there. You should put some red in there. No, that board is so much fun.
Yeah,
man.
I love it, man.
I was so stoked. I'm trying to get I had good footage. I got footage of me catching that bomb. I've got some good rides in there. I want to make a little clip of like all of our good footage, because I've got footage from last summer as well, and I think I have some footage from us out there too. But
well, yeah, you caught some footage of me riding, but you never sent it to me.
Well, that's the thing. I went to transfer it to my computer today, and since my GoPro is weird, have you noticed that?
I don't like them. I bought a GoPro.
The
I got it mounted on my
sucks.
board, but when I get out there, there's two things. One, when I get out there and I think, okay, I'm going to record, I don't want to record because there's always waves coming and I want to catch them. I don't want to do nothing else but surf. I don't want to be fucking around with that shit.
Right.
And on top of that, it's not very good quality. Like the fucking, the resolution's not. And I got the Hero 8. I don't know which generation. They're probably into 10 now. I don't know.
I think 13. No,
yeah,
maybe 11,
I don't keep
10
up
11,
with
but
it.
It's just like iPhones.
But I got it. It was the brand new latest thing a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You know, waterproof. You didn't have to put it in a case and all that. But I took it out one time. I got footage of me surfing one wave, and after that, I don't fuck with it because while you may film, I don't want to fuck with it because I just want to surf.
Another thing too is I don't know if you notice this, but regardless, you're aware that you have a camera, and for me, I have never gotten over camera shy, even when I did a lot of film work.
Right.
A lot of people can tune that out, but when I have a GoPro, I use the mouth mount because I like A and B views. Actually, I have two. What I want to do is put one on the front and then do the mouth mount at the same time because I like when you watch surf footage and you got the footage of the front of the wave and the guy going down the wave from his POV, but then you got someone out in the wave filming him, and then you might have a camera, you know, ABC camera 1, 2, and 3 on the nose filming him as he's, you know, doing his thing. But every time I get out there, except for last time because I was having so much fun, I tuned it out. And man, I'm gonna tell you something. That's the conditions we saw there. I haven't seen like that nice and fun consistently since the day my leg blew up.
I haven't seen it either, and I wasn't able to take advantage of it because I was fucking up so bad. And on one of the waves, what was that?
Fayetteville.
Yeah, I was paddling into it, and I had missed two. Like they went under me. Like I think I was too far back on the board because I've been riding the BBC that you were riding.
Right.
So I got the 9.6 in there. So I think I was a little too far back. So my nose was up. So I missed a few waves. So on this third one, I go into it and I feel it start surfing. So I go to pop up, but then I feel the board slow down.
Yeah.
So I lay back down, but now I'm surfing and I'm dropping in on the wave. So I pop up, and when I pop up, it stops. And so I kind of moved my weight forward, and I threw my hands in the air. I was like, I don't know if I'm fucking surfing. And when I did that, I turned to my left. I think because you were behind me or Martin was behind me. And then the closeout happened, and I fell off. I tweaked my knee.
Oh.
And from that point on, it was just
that
like
hurts,
every
man.
time and it still hurts. Like right now, today, it's getting better, but. So to tweak your back or your knee that early when the conditions are good,
it's the worst.
So I ended up riding waves on my fucking knees like an old coot.
Man, that shit sucks. Like that was me. You know, I always mention it, but my year of back issues, that was like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was good waves. My body wanted to pop up, but I physically could not, or I would, and the pain would just make me lose my balance, and I'd edge in or something.
Yeah.
But
I find that when my back or my knees bother me, when I pop up, I stand straight the fuck up.
Yes, you do that too.
Because you can't stay, crouched with a bad knee and a bad back. So you stand straight up, and that throws you all fucking cattywampus or whatever
So be mindful out there. We surf with guys. Some of the guys, Martin's our age, but I don't know how old this other dude we just met is. He seems like he's younger.
Oh, Mike, yeah.
But he's also a disabled vet. So
yeah. I don't know. We just met him, man. So it was a good weekend. So we picked up a new member of the tribe, potentially.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We still got to jump him into the hood.
Yeah. So I want to give a little advice to surfers out there. So be mindful of the young guys. When you see guys our age out there, we're not hot dogging. We want to. Some of us did back in the day, but we have a lot of issues that we do our best. Now, because I know they talk shit sometimes,
Some young guys
but
thinking,
it's like, bro,
you kook.
It's like you wait till your freaking joints in your. Some of the young guys they're all skaters. Like what's that guy? Gavin. He's a youngster, but he's already got a fucked knee. Like he can't boogie board anymore because of his knee. So that poor kid, he's only 19. Yeah. And, he needs complete reconstructive knee surgery. So yeah, some more. And Addison too. Addison had a bad knee, but.
We keep building up the damn tribe the way we're doing, and we can do whatever the fuck we want out there.
We'll clear it out. That's like in the old days when we used to have the Southside Hammers. Yeah. We just go out and the lineup was ours, dude.
That's it.
And it was cool though, as long as you weren't dropping in and being a dick bag.
Yeah.
But
then we can get over your fear of the crowded lineup, or not the fear. You don't like crowds.
No,
the best wave on the beach. There's 6 people, and you don't want to go there. I'm like, man,
I wouldn't say it's the best wave on the beach, man.
Well, then why is there 6 people on? I'm just talking about any given day. Whenever you see a crowd of people, that's usually the best wave. So we just got to get the tribe out there and fucking just start moving people out the way, and then we just take it over.
You're not on the Instagram page, WB Surf Lies, are you?
I don't fuck with Instagram. I put some of the shit out for us for like the podcast, but I generally don't fuck with Instagram ever.
So there's like a parody page of Wrightsville Beach Live Surf, and it's called Wrightsville Beach Live Surf. But there's a meme on there, and it says same swell, same waves, Crystal Pier, and it has like 50 people or like 100 people on the same peaks.
Yeah.
And then it says 100 yards to the left, and there's one guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? You know, it's like, because there are like that spot I showed you, like Blockade Runner. You know, it's like depending on what the swell's doing in the direction. There's been days where you look down the beach and it's the same peaks about every 50 yards, but for some reason people like to pile up at the pier.
I think I think that you might have two things that I've noticed at Crystal Pier. The before 9 type of crowd, it's kind of like a ritual for them. They meet there. There's not a lot of people, but like during the summertime, that's just where when you want to go to Wrightsville Beach, you go to Crystal Pier because that's where people access the beach to go hang out on it.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of tourist surfers out there.
Yes.
So they would just go to Crystal Pier. You got a bathroom there. You got a shower.
Surf shop.
Surf shop. They got a little restaurant right there. It's like in the mix. They don't know that, when you go to Blockade Runner or some of these other spots, you're parking literally in front of someone's house and getting dressed in their front yard. So a lot of like tourists or, maybe that's a reason. But I'm going to tell you, I was more drawn to Crystal Pier when I first started surfing there. Yeah. Now I'm more drawn to 8 because the van can be closer. Yeah. I just try to think of the leisure, like, when you're surfing, especially in wintertime conditions, it's a process.
Yeah, it is.
You got to fucking forget what you got to do to get ready to go. When you get there, you got to unstrap the boards. You got to take them out of their fucking socks. You got to put fins on them if you took the fins off. You got to put that fucking wetsuit on.
Yeah.
And then you got to fucking carry all your shit to the beach. So the shorter that I have to walk to and fro, then that is where I'm going to hope for the best. And that's Access 8.
Yeah.
That's why I always start there.
I agree with that. And shower. The big thing is the showers and the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And
because that's sand. Like that's why they got that shower on the van. That PVC shower comes in handy when I remember to fill it up.
That thing's cool, man. Like I said, if you could, that'd be dope if there's like some sort of like the emergency blanket shit. But I don't know if that would mess it up or not. But put some sort of thing on there because it's in the sun all day, and it's cool you painted it black. That was smart. Or did it come like that?
No, you paint it black because it heats the water up.
Yeah, that thing is a lifesaver.
I wanted to. There's a way to run a hot water on demand, like a camper water heater.
Oh, neat.
Through it, but you got to get into like plumbing and drilling holes in the top of the van and
PSI,
all that stuff. Yeah,
it's funny. Remind me if you ever want to do that again. When I was in horticulture, we had to do irrigation, and I have all that shit to convert like PSIs for sprinkler systems. I'm sure it'd be the same shit.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
There's a whole formula, and we had to learn how to do it. But I mean, I have the cheat sheet, so we could figure it out what we want. Like we could run 80 PSI off that motherfucker.
I can assure you that I'm never going to want to do it. But anytime you want to take a crack at it, you can take the van.
Tracking.
I'm done, man. Like I bought that thing and I gutted it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to put hardwood floors in it. I'm going to do this. I'll make it like a little creeper, like a sleeper van. And I don't mean sleeper as in sleeping in it, but like a sleeper, like you don't know it's a camper.
Yeah.
It looks like a piece of shit.
Thing is dope.
And then you get inside and it's real nice. But then I realized that's a lot of fucking work and I don't have time to do that. And I'm so impatient that when I start making cuts, but I have been looking at those Mercedes, man, those 3500s.
You got 150,000.
Some of them are like 300, but yeah,
that's a house. I mean, that
I know, but I want to live in it.
But
what's stopping me is they're only sleeping 2 people.
I'm down with, dude. My sister. Shout out to my sister right now. She's a listener too, by the way. So Erica, if you're out there, thank you, love you. My nephew, man, big shout out to him. He's been like,
you've been telling me about that. What's his name? Is
Aiden.
Aiden.
We call him Tater. We call him Tater though.
Tater,
dude. Tater's the shit.
What's up, Tater?
Does
Tater surf? Does he surf?
I want to get him into it. My niece is really stoked about it. Emma, she went out and she's just.
That's right. Yeah. You
dude, she's a hard charger, bro. That girl does not have quitting her. I'm so proud of that, man. My sister, dude,
that's good stuff.
She raised some awesome things. But Tater's, dude, he's for a 17-year-old man. He's going to come out here. I plan on having him out here to visit in the summertime. I want to either fly him out and have him spend a week.
Where they live in Oregon?
Oregon, yeah. Dude, Tater is like, I'm proud of that kid. There is hope for the future.
So he's not down there screaming Black Lives Matter and
fuck. Well, he's here's the thing. Tater is with it. He gets it. He gets equality. He gets all that stuff. But he and I are very much alike. I don't have to talk to him about stuff. He gets like,
So
he sees how ridiculous, he sees the bullshit behind it. And he sees how it's like it's, you're telling me you hate me for what I'm doing to you, but you're treating me the same way that you hate me for. So how's that fucking, but anyhow, he's a good kid, man. He's a hardworking kid, but my sister, they're looking into like van RV life, and they've got 2 grown, my niece is 20 and, Tater's 17, and, they're all working on, probably making that their living arrangements, and that's a cool thing. Dude.
Who, your sister and her husband?
Your brother-in-law? And my brother-in-law, Ryan, who's also, man, amazing people. Just shout out to them. I love them so much. But anyhow,
I want to do it, man, but I don't want to get one of those big tour buses.
That's what they want to get.
Yeah, I don't want one.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to find something for me, John, and Jody that we could all but there's not a third bed. So John would be on the floor. So it wouldn't be cool. Because I watched, the what are they called? The Paskowitz family. Do you know who they are? They were a big time surfing family. Paskowitz. They were like competitors.
They have a Sprinter, don't they?
A what?
They have a big Sprinter van. The van life, right?
No. So back in the 70s or the early 60s and the 70s, Dorian Paskowitz, he decided that he was going to quit life conventionally. He was a doctor.
Yeah.
And he bought a fucking 17-foot RV, and him and his family lived in it. And he had 9 kids. The Paskowitz, and they were all surfers. He was a surfer, big time surfer from the 50s. And they grew up. If you were around surfing in Hawaii, California, Mexico in the 70s and 80s, then you'll know they'll know who they are. But anyway, I watched a documentary on them. But he lived with 9 kids and him and his wife in a fucking 17-foot. And I'm not talking about a nice one. I'm talking about a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And that's all they did was surf and, camp.
Dude, honestly,
yeah,
I would be okay with that if my kids were down. My wife's not. But.
John would be down with it, but I think that I wouldn't. I can see myself at 12 years old thinking it was fun, but after the first month, hey, I'd like my own space,
That's something, and
I'm tired of beating off in fucking public bathrooms, type of shit.
With our generation, and I was just saying about this too, is a lot of us are living what we want to do later in life in this generation, just because it's harder to get ahead than it was in the 50s,
Yeah, big time.
50s, 60s, my dad put, I think I mentioned this, I don't know if it was on this podcast or our old podcast, the Hunt Club, but my dad put himself through college working at fucking as a janitor.
Yeah.
VCU. Yeah. All right. So how do you do that? He did have a college degree, my dad, but, so a lot of people our age are willing to go off and just be a nomad. But I was saying about this too. It's when it comes to kids, and I think that's where we fuck up is our generation tends to put our own needs above our kids a lot with our generation. And
maybe, yeah, I guess.
So I agree that you should go out and pursue your happiness and your sanity. But when you have a young one like that, the one thing I lacked in my life growing up was stability, and it fucked with me, man.
Yeah.
It's to all the parents out there, all right, you could be doing your best, but you really got to provide your kids a foundation, and you have to support that foundation and try to preserve it no matter what.
It's so rare nowadays because everybody's divorced.
I know.
Everybody, it's nothing. When I was a kid, there was one of our friends who would have to go visit his dad because his dad didn't live there because his parents were divorced, and that was kind of a foreign concept when I was a kid.
Dude, I remember.
But that went away quick because now it's
I remember, man, I felt like I'll never forget the day I was 8 years old that I found out my parents were going to call it quits. Mm-hmm. I felt like a fucking alien, dude. Cause I grew up on a street with other kids, but all the parents were married. This is the 80s. It was still very, there was divorce a lot. My aunts have been divorced and stuff. All of my aunts and uncles have been divorced, but I was the only kid on my street whose parents were divorcing. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't, I remember freaking out at my friend's house. It felt like my first episode of when you have major life shit happen as an adult, those days where it's what the fuck, what am I going to do? I'm overwhelmed and every second just feels like eternity. Mm-hmm. And I remember vividly that feeling and I was like, oh shit, man. So yeah, it affects the kids, man. And we have to remember as parents that everything we do like that, and we have to put ourselves in their shoes sometimes because we forget what it was like to be that little, and we're like, oh, suck it up, you pussy. Yeah. Because now we can be in the, if it happened to me now, I could deal with it a lot more than I could.
Well, because you're an adult
8.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's
But
one
I think
thing
it's more common now that, kid finds out their parents getting divorced and they may be down about it, but then they go to rely on their friends and they're like, yeah, I felt the same way when my mom's been married 3 times. You know what I mean? I've had 2 stepdaddies, and it's so normal now that it's just kind of like, whatever, But I have met people, I've known people, I probably still know people who are miserable in their marriage, but they use their kids as an excuse on why they stay. Like, I'm miserable in my marriage, but I don't want to get divorced. I'm like, why don't you just fucking get a divorce? You're always complaining about her.
Yeah.
She's not okay. So in these cases, I'm on his side because, and the one that just popped into my head, but I'm giving him all the you got no reason to stay. If you told me in all of the things that you just complained about, if I love her was on the top of that list, then I would say you got something.
Yeah.
But you just go through and you complain, and I'm gonna tell you what, I'm tired of hearing it.
Are we talking about me?
No. No, I don't think we've ever had that conversation
really.
in your marriage.
I have normal marriage gripes.
No, I've known a guy, okay, so the first time you tell me about your marital problems, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the advice because I've been married 3 times.
Yeah.
The second time, I'm going to be like, yeah, well, did you try this? What? The third time, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because now you just sound like a little bitch. You're complaining. You're like, stop fucking complaining about you're making your problems my problems now.
Right.
Because I don't want to be around you. It's like being around somebody who's fucking drunk all the time and you're sober.
Yeah.
It's like, take that shit somewhere else. It's annoying.
First couple times it's cute and therapeutic.
Yeah. So I talked to a dude and he tells me about it. But anyway, my point was, I'm always saying, look, the kids will suffer more if you're in a miserable marriage and you stay together than if you get divorced. Because they're going to know there's tension there. You're not happy. And then what kind of life are they going to have with mom and dad hating each other?
Yeah.
It's obvious when you're not getting along with somebody. Everybody can see that there's no love there anymore.
Right. It makes everything so confusing, man. Because, my dad was trying to work things out. And in our religion, which I talked about before, there's a thing called a year of patience where you can separate, but the religion holds marriage as a sanctitude and, obviously try to work it out. But you're supposed to take a year apart, but you're not supposed to do anything during that year to pursue other relationships. You're supposed to think and...
Bro, that sounds like North Carolina state law.
Yeah.
But that's what you got to do in North Carolina.
During this year of patience, as a kid, I was witnessing, my dad was trying to work it out and he was actually doing the right thing, but my mom was like, not. No. And not to bash my mom. My mom did what she had to do. I get my mom now. I get a lot about my mom.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, people think you got to remember about your parents, man, especially from our generation. And I don't know, my parents and everybody in my family had children right out of high school.
Yeah.
I think my mom was married in her senior year. She was pregnant. She was married and living with my dad, and they were. So you got to, so you think about your first 10 years of your life. Your parents are there in their 20s.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, yeah.
You're growing up with your parent. Your parents are growing up with you. They're 20. You remember, think back when you're 20.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Especially nowadays, I look at my kids and they're in their 20s, and I'm like, think about this. When I was your age, I already had a full-fledged family, and I was in the fucking army. You know what I'm saying?
How old were you when your first was born? You were young, weren't you?
I was 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was 26 when Sheila got pregnant, but that's still pretty young.
I would say that's about mid-range. Yeah. I think that it would have been smarter. I think it's smarter for a man anyway to fucking not even think about getting married until he's in his 40s. You should spend your 20s and your 30s working, acquiring assets, getting set up, and then you can turn around and you can get because you'll be more of a high quality male. And then you can turn around and you don't have to marry a 40-year-old woman.
You'll be one of those people that
you could marry a 25-year-old woman.
This is hilarious. I also heard this term on that Wrightsville Surf Lies. It's there's a meme of a bunch of politicians. It's the Bush and all his cronies during Desert Storm. They're all sitting there with champagne laughing, and it's when your 3-hour a day job that makes $100K allows you to surf every day.
Yeah.
And then it says on the comment, someone said, or you hit the dad lottery. People who hit the dad lotto.
What's the dad lotto?
When you have a successful dad, who did things like that guy Jeff we see down at Wrightsville. I mean, dude's a CFO. He's our age, but he has a 6-year-old or 8-year-old. Well, I'm sure the kid's old now, but he, he had everything lined up before he had kids. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And that makes you, a lot of men out there, and you see it all the time on social media, they think there's the terminology, I guess, was probably put out by Andrew Tate, maybe, who he was, You don't know who Andrew Tate? God, you need to keep up. You want to try to make a go at social media, you're going to have to start paying attention more.
I see that. Yes, I'm starting
Andrew
to.
Tate is a guy. He got in some trouble, but basically he was saying the quiet part out loud about men and women. What he was saying was absolutely true, but the way he said it was more like chauvinistic.
Canceled.
To piss people off. And he wanted to, I mean, but, you know, he probably made millions of dollars. He was a professional kickboxer. British guy.
I've seen clips of him.
I think he's half black, half white, British American, kickboxer, talks a lot of shit, very good at talking shit. But he coined this phrase, I think he did, about the a high value male. Yeah. So what is a high value male?
Right.
You know, and so there's different, I guess, opinions on that. But if you come to, we spent our 20s, I spent my 20s raising a family and trying to party. You know what I mean? But not really party, because I take that back. I spent my 30s trying to party because I had a family all through my 20s. I got divorced in 2007, opened up a tattoo shop right next to a bar.
Oh, man.
Then eventually owned a bar, and it was like party central, and I spent a lot of that money I should have been investing. So I just would recommend to, a young man would be to work through your 20s, establish yourself in your 30s, go ahead and get your, your credit and get your house. Start looking around 35, 40 for a woman, because you will find that like a man doesn't have to be good looking. That's you know what I'm saying? That helps. Stay in shape. That helps because that shows confidence. But to be established and then you can go and have kids and it'll be a lot easier. Yeah. Then you won't be digging through the fucking couch looking for change. Yeah. You know, strife does not mean failure. I'm not saying that if that's because I went through, I've struggled and sometimes still do, but there's a lot I wish I could go back and tell younger me. But it's you know what the fucked up part is? There were older people when I was that young telling me that, and I didn't fucking listen to them.
But that's another thing too. Listen up, young folks. And we as men of our age who've lived a young adult's life already. Yeah, it's our job to educate the younger guys and to advise them, but to do it in a way where, I feel like it's my responsibility to pass that down, because there's shit that I went through that was easy shit to get through, that was fucking hard because nobody ever taught me it. Not at all. You've even taught me some stuff, man, just hanging out with you.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, that's good.
But
same thing. Yeah. The same thing. When I look at some of the things you do and I try to apply it and.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell is that? Not now. Okay.
TikTok.
Anyway, TikTok. Well, you got to get on the. You got to get off this. So, man. So I think here's the deal. Okay. So backstory. I posted a video on TikTok of, I forgot the guy's name now, the rapper, right? He's got this rap, these bars that were fucking great. So I fucking redid it with, the split screen.
Dude, I'm just giving you shit,
man.
And
he fucking, not only that might help him, because there was probably 5 or 6 people that asked me who that was. So I put them on. But you just always be hating on social media.
Dude, I just give you shit. Because, it's I think it's just funny because, so many people make their entire fucking online presence about just doing shit like that. And it's what are you fucking doing? Yeah, but you're taking, it's like when I'm sitting there going.
The next time you see something like that on YouTube. Yeah. Or, because I don't know how TikTok monetizes, but the next time you see something on YouTube, look at the views. Yeah. Okay.
One of those.
When you see 250,000 or millions of views, do you realize there was a guy, he put out this thing, and he's got 2 million subscribers, and he averages about 247,000 views per video. The fucker makes $8,000 a day. Every fucking day, it's 8,000.
Every day.
Every day.
For 240,000 views.
No. Every video he puts out. He's got 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, there's Fabian.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I'm just ADD. I should have fucking smoked fucking. Next time I do a podcast, I'm going to be fucking high. All right. I'm too high strung because I got back on the pot. I was
what the fuck are you, some sort of narc?
Yeah. I asked him, I said, Brent, you got any pot? He was like, you call it pot? I'm like, what the fuck do you call it? He's like, cabbage, fuego,
dank.
I'm like, okay, so now it's my turn.
Dude, we've been calling it dank.
40-year-old man calling.
We've been calling
pot
it dank since the '90s in California. And I'm gonna say something real quick.
I mean, I probably called it that too when I was 14 or 15, but now I'm 45, so I just call it dope. Yeah,
but I mean,
pot. Weed.
Well, let's say that dope. You guys want to smoke some dope?
I still call it dope.
I got to tell you funny stories. We were on this film shoot in New York, and my boy and I, my homie guy, I know he's listening because I tuned him into, and he does sewing, so he puts it on his background noise. But we're out there, and we're in this seedy hotel on Long Island, you know, not too bad, but just like a hotel near the shoot. And we get there, and the first thing we do is just fucking blaze, man. And like, we have this little inside joke. So we left our door open, and no one gives a fuck in New York. You know, I'm sure there are some squares, but this like, you know, this boomer walks by, and he looks like a FUD. You know what a FUD is, right? Like, I drive a FUD truck now because it's like, what does every boomer have? Or every FUD has a fucking Ford Ranger, and a Colt 1911.
Yeah.
Best truck and best pistol that ever existed.
Dad jeans.
Yeah. And like not dad jeans, but drinks like White Monsters. And talks about Rhodesia.
Rhodesia?
Oh, that's a little inside thing.
What you know about Rhodesia?
No, that's a meme too about like boomers, like Rhodesia was a hell of a country with their sugar-free monster. But this dude walks by, man. He just gives us the gnarliest fucking side eye, like, of your life. And like, in both of our heads were like, he probably was like, "Goddamn druggers." Yeah. so every time Guy and I, like, anything like that, stoner stuff, I was like, "Fucking goddamn druggers." Goddamn druggers. Yeah. So here's a shout out to all you goddamn druggers out there. But,
yeah, man. I smoked the pot. I used the pot. I was on the pot, fucking. Or I was taking the pot. That's what I was reaching for. In my brain, I was taking the pot Friday night, and it was funny because I was laying there. You know, I've been talking about Costa Rica. I've been talking about van life. You know, getting one of those Mercedes overland and just living at surf breaks and traveling around. And every time I say it to Jody, she's like, "Yeah, let's do it," right? So we're laying in bed, and we're both fucking stoned, and it dawned on us that this is the first time in either one of our lives that we've been with somebody that's down with that shit.
Oh, wow.
Like, we've been talking about it. Like, I would say this shit from my first, second, third marriage, and I would always get the same thing. Like, nah, I don't want to fucking do that. What kind of responsibility? I was like, why don't we fucking get one of these RV, big campers? You know, we'll get instead of buying a $300,000 house, we'll get a fucking big, dually diesel, and we'll get a fucking, a camper, and we'll live around the, we'll live around the United States. Yeah. No, we ain't doing that. It's always the wife that's always like killing your dreams, But Jody's been in the same situation. Like, she's wanted to do that, and everybody that she's been with is like, that don't sound like fun to me.
You guys are two.
So we're like laying there, and it's like, this is the first time I can say we should fucking get a van and turn it into a camper, and she's just like down with it. She's like, all right, let's go. And then it's like putting me on the spot. It's calling me out. So it's like, have I just been talking shit all these years?
Oh, or
have
I
been dreaming, or am I like really down? But
you're really down with La Raza? You're not down. No,
I'm down with Costa Rica. I thought about the van thing, but that would still be in the United States.
Yeah. So, so yeah, man. So Jody basically is like,
she's such a free spirit. She's down to do it.
Yeah.
But see, the problem is not problem. It could be a blessing, but for me, the only issue is if I brought home the Griswold family truckster, or, what was Eddie, cousin Eddie?
Yeah.
Shitter's full, that guy.
Yeah.
Did it, Brandy Quaid?
Shitter's full, yeah.
If I brought home that bus and I was like, we're doing it, she'd be like, let's go. Yeah. Like, she don't give a fuck. And I'm a little bit more bougie. Like, I want
you are.
I want some nice shit.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that. It's funny because I just think when, like, all the shit you give me, but then I remember it's like, wait a minute, he didn't want to ride my Jeep. And then you're like, no, fuck that. I'm not riding that fucking.
I'm kind of
get me out of this
luxury.
Yeah, when you said that, like, I'm addicted to fine things.
I'm addicted to luxury.
Hey, man,
on a small scale.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If all I can afford is that shitty camper, I just don't need to be spending money on the shitty camper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If all I can afford is that fucking 2001 model, because here's the thing. If you've got a 10-year or older camper, a lot of the nice sites won't let you stay there. That's a rule. Yeah, it's got to be.
Just because of liability or what?
No, just because they don't want fucking the clam pit showing up.
It's basically the HOA. Yeah.
Because here's the deal.
The clam pit showing up.
If I'm chilling in my fucking camper and I'm having a good time, and all of a sudden the Beverly Hillbillies show up in their fucking 1980 model, and they got fat kids running around with big gulps and Mountain Dew, I'm going to be like, let's pack our shit and go.
But, that's like that whole inclusion thing.
Fuck that. No. I don't believe in that. That's
I know. Yeah,
like, if you can afford the doubt, I'm not rich. I'm not snobby. I'm not rich. I can't afford to live. I don't have the $300,000 camper. But then again, I don't pull my $50,000 camper to the $300,000 $1,000 camper site. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, true that too.
So that's why they have that thing. So there's some places down around Carolina Beach like Snows.
Oh, that are bougie.
Like no, it's not. Well,
Snows is like
Snows is like you might
place.
step on a goddamn needle. There's like meth heads. Like
man.
Snows Cut or whatever it's called. But then there's like where I was up at Harbor Point up in Sneads Ferry, Topsail. It's real nice. Yeah. You know, you can't do certain things. To my detriment sometimes. Like they wouldn't let me build like a deck and stuff like that. But
yeah. There's all kinds of measures these days to keep the pores out, dude. Whether or not people like to fucking admit it.
Even the pores don't want to be. Once the pores make some money, they don't want to be around the pores anymore. Come on. Like you can be poor. You can be poor. But that don't mean you have to be trashy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, so when I say that, there's a lot of people that just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They got barbecues in the front yard. They got goddamn broke down cars up on blocks, you know, in your front yard. And that's just disrespectful to your fucking neighbors at that point. You know?
If you got neighbors. I mean, if you're out in the cuts, do your thing. But
do what you want out in the country. But in a neighborhood, you know, I drive through some of these neighborhoods because I'm in the construction business. So I go to these neighborhoods and I'm like, this is a nice neighborhood. And then you pull up on this one house. It's got 3 cars on blocks. It's got barbecue in the front yard. He's got a pile of junk. He built his fence out of fucking pallets, which probably looked dope the first week.
Yeah.
But, you know, as it warped and turned gray, and now the fucking neighbors trying to keep their fucking yard nice, but they got to look at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know? So, call me snobby, but that's just respect. Like, I will keep my fucking yard. I hate doing
accountability,
yard work.
self-accountability, man.
I will keep my yard as nice as my neighbors do. So if I got like a neighbor on the left and right and they're really into their yard, I'll get my yard edged and I'll cut it and from fertilizer.
Which I got to tighten up on this summer. My back really fucked me on that. I used to keep my yard
are you
pristine.
that guy? Are you that guy?
Right now I am, but it's just because like I went for a whole season and a half where I couldn't do shit. I really couldn't. I tried.
Well, you know, they got motherfucking dudes that roll around with trucks and lawnmowers come over.
Teenagers, man. I rather support. There's a teenager actually. I'm gonna pay a couple teenagers, I think, to square it away. Get it to that point so I can maintain. I'm getting
American teenage, but you got teenage sons.
True, I do.
The fuck you?
Good point. You're right.
I'm talking shit, but at one point I had teenage sons too. Couldn't get them to do shit.
No, you know, that's fuck that shit, man. I'm gonna say it right now. If you, anyone out there listening that lives in a fucking suburbanite home, if you got here's the thing. If you got 3 fucking teenagers in your house, teenagers now, not little ones.
Yeah.
You fucking should never have an unmowed lawn, dude. Period. You're just a fucking piece of shit if you got 3 teenagers and you have little shit that can be done.
You know, though, it becomes a point. It comes to the point where it's like, do I want to be at war with my kids all the time? Because the kids today,
war though? Is asking a kid to cut the lawn at
but
fucking
they don't.
war?
Here's the thing: they're so fucking lazy now that
how do we fucking change
they
it?
want to get paid. I mean, you just have to be at war with your kids, you know. But a lot of parents don't. Like me, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm with my son all the time. He's homeschooled, and I do need to start chilling a little bit, but. Because I don't want him. He's gonna fucking turn
you don't
16.
Want to be 18
he's gonna be like, "Fuck you, dude."
Fuck you, dude. And then he's that kid in like the corner in fucking Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah,
you know sitting there shooting fucking heroin because he's got daddy issues.
He's going to, but here's the thing: at some point, I can't. As a parent, I cannot. I'm not backing down because I want to be my son's friend. Like you have to do things.
Does John listen to this?
What?
Our podcast?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. That's fine.
Yeah. No. I mean, if he did, I mean, I wouldn't watch what I said. I say this to him all the time. I'm like, dude, your life is going to suck because he never. Here's how he gets in trouble. I say, hey, look, I need you to turn your computer off, go take a shower.
Yeah, a shower,
and then you need to fucking clean your room, and then he makes the.
That face.
And I'm like, hey, I'm tired of that shit. How about for once you just say, okay, Roger, 2 bags full, and be a normal kid and just do what the fuck you're supposed to do.
It's not just your kid, though.
And then he stares off into space and he walks away. And I'm like, no. Sit the fuck down. Let's try this again. Hey, I need you to turn your computer off. I need you to take a shower. I need you to clean your room, whatever I said, and then you can get back on your computer. If I don't have an okay in 3 seconds, I'm like, okay, you just lost your fucking computer for a week.
Yeah.
Okay, a week and a half. You want to keep going?
Keep going.
Because right now he's got no phone. He's got no computer games. He don't have shit. The only thing he's allowed to do is fucking homeschool, and he can watch documentaries.
Cool.
That's it. Because I can't make him stare at the fucking wall. I mean, would be.
I try. Sometimes as a kid, it does help. Like, I remember adults who I respected stepping in. I did try to give him the uncle talk in the car the other day. Remember, he knows he wanted to ride with me?
Yeah.
And he was just like, man, he was kind of like just bummed. He's like, yeah, my dad's a dick. I'm like, I was like, John, dude, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, dude. You won't see it now, but I'm like, you'll appreciate it one day. And I was like, your dad loves you more than other dads love their kids. That's why he's a dick. So I know it seems like he's a dick, but he's actually setting you up for success. And he's showing you love, and that's real love. So I just explained, I was like, just let it slide. Listen to your dad, but I was like, don't take it personal.
Yeah.
You know, just.
Like, he can't even go surfing and have a good time. He gets in trouble because, and it's not because, like, he wants to.
Well, surfing for you guys is not just surfing. It's actually part of his curriculum.
Yeah.
It's his PE.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
so
right.
I think maybe he doesn't quite understand. Maybe he thinks, well, my dad's out here fucking off with his friends. So, but you're out there trying to get it, man.
Yeah,
you're not
I'm out there trying to get it. I ain't out there to fuck. And see, here's the thing. I don't care if he goes out there and stays on that surfboard.
Sorry.
And doesn't do a damn thing, and he just floats around and sprinkles fairy dust on the waves. I don't care if he fucking goes out there and he doesn't catch a wave and bombs on every wave. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Have fun. But don't start critiquing other fucking surfers when you're out here not going, you know what I'm saying? Don't start telling people, hey, what you need to do is this. And don't start talking shit to the guys that are fucking bombing, and then when they fall, because everybody falls on waves. Everybody. I don't care how good you are. Eventually, you wipe out or you miss. You can't go critiquing and tell Martin, who's been surfing for 30 years, hey, man, move closer up on your board.
Yeah.
Like, nobody likes that guy, and I'm not going to raise that guy, so shut the fuck up. Shut the hell up. And either if you're going to start going at now.
Did you notice how, though, once he started listening, he fucking started killing it? Like,
and then whenever he surfed that wave on his, he didn't try to pop up, he just surfed it.
Yeah.
You could see in his face he was stoked.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what we're trying to
he's
give
getting
you.
it, man. But it's not just John, dude. Trust me. It's not my kids.
He don't get in trouble. Like, he doesn't do anything bad. What gets him in trouble is his fucking mouth.
Yeah.
He has just a tendency to, like I just said, hey, go clean your room. Are you fucking kidding me? You're so spoiled. You got a gaming computer. You got 3 TVs on your wall.
That's the thing, though.
You're homeschooled. You got
these. Like I said, like I always talk about this. I always bring it up, but like, you know, I was at a parent conference this morning for Shane because Shane's gifted. So we had to go and get him in. He's going into AIG, which is, I guess, like the GT
Advanced,
now. Yeah. But the teacher we were talking about just kids, and he's like, man, these kids, like, they don't have boundaries when it comes to adults. Like, they're so disrespectful. They don't even know they're being disrespectful. Like, they see on the internet, people just talk to people however they want. And that's another thing, too. The internet, that's a real shitty part of it, is that you can go on there and say whatever the fuck you want, and you can disrespect people. You can disrespect. You might see a comment that you don't agree with. You don't know shit about that person. You click on their picture and you judge them based on their picture.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you know, oh, well, look at this motherfucker. Who the fuck is this fucker? Yeah. We get so mad at each other on the internet. Like, it brings out the ugliest parts of us.
Yeah.
I hate that,
because man. Here's, you know, I agree, because if there was a guy sitting in front of me right now that was disagreeing adamantly over some hardcore political shit, something I'm passionate about and something he was passionate about, and if we're disagreeing on it, the chances of me saying, well, you're a fucking moron, you're a fucking lazy piece of shit, that's why you fucking think this way, because you got red hair and blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Because that's going to end our conversation, and we're going to end up in a fight. Right. Maybe. Or I'm just going to hurt your feelings. But on the internet, you don't have that fucking personal interaction. So my first reaction is, shut the fuck up, moron. Yeah. Which is why I'm suspended again. I didn't even say nothing bad. I can't post on any forums. I can post to my page. Yeah. I can't go on the Hunt Club page. I can't. Oh, damn. For a comment I made about a guy that ran over some protesters, I was like, hell yeah, run them all over. Like, you can't say that no more either. But
can't do anything anymore.
But what happens is
you just can't think outside of the Google woke fucking bullshit. Yeah.
So our kids spend as much time on the social media and the internet as we do, and you know that's not a bad thing, because that's just the future. Yeah, but it's up to us, and it's the parents that have to step in and then tell like I tell my son, I tell him all the time, you cannot talk to adults that way.
You can't. Period.
You can't do it.
The kids, they don't understand that. And it's hard for them to grasp that.
Yeah, so John will be doing something. He don't think he's doing nothing wrong, and he'll snap on an adult. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Or, when it's just me and him, we'll talk, we'll bicker back and forth, because he's a lot like I am. He's got the same fucking sarcastic. So we can do that. But when there's other adults around, I'm trying to explain to him, you can't do that. Yeah. And the only other option for me is to not let you do it ever. So that means we and you were going to live together.
It's like the NCO soldier
And
relationship.
you're just going to fucking not want to be around. You're just going to hate Mike. And I'm always, I don't want to, you think I like getting on to you? It's awkward sometimes, especially as he gets older.
There's other parents now in this generation that are like, you need to be real with your kids. You need to treat them like adults. I don't think that's...
Fuck no.
No, dude. Like, I don't think that's the right thing, man, because then that puts them at your level. So, and here's what this leads to, I think. So the kid thinks that they're an adult. They start talking to adults like that. They're going to have an adult that's like this. When it comes to like molestation, I think it actually puts them as a target because, you know, there could be an adult that's targeting a kid and the kid's not thinking anything of it because the kid thinks that they're on. Does this make sense what I'm saying? It doesn't.
Not at all. Back up. Go again.
Okay.
How does a kid that is comfortable hanging around adults make them a target for molestation?
Well, a kid being exposed to things like for instance, like I have a friend who like straight up their kid knows what like blowjobs are at like age 5.
No, that's not cool.
Right?
Yeah, that's not cool.
I'm not gonna mention names.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's bad. That's just bad parenting.
You know, but the reason they told them about that is because they wanted them to be aware if someone tries to do that to them that it's bad.
No. Good touch, bad touch. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
like
I guess that was my point on that.
Yeah.
So it's just weird, man.
You know, and I had a fucking conversation with somebody. They were talking about, you know, teaching kids about like gay anal sex in like 3rd grade. And the person's reaction was at first was like, fuck no. But then as I put it to them that this was like a Democrat push, a support, then they changed their fucking story and was like, well, if somebody would have, you know, no. Here's the thing. I don't even let my kid curse. I know he does. He's going to be 12. He hears me talking. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like Generation X, I don't know how your parents were, but my parents didn't curse. And my grandparents...
My dad did when he was mad, but no, my grandma,
no one cursed around
Still
kids.
My mom.
Like my dad he drops a fucking F-bomb on every syllable.
It's a comma.
I never heard him curse like that until I was like a teenager. And he didn't even know I could hear what he was saying. Me and my brother were playing pool, and he was in a bar. And we were like, oh, my God, we're telling Mom. Yeah, we were young. Yeah. But then, you know, as I got older, you know, and it... You know, I curse and he's cursing. We're adults. He said it more than me, but I never heard it. So I think with Generation X, I've noticed that we stopped that. We cursed around our kids. You know,
is that the right thing?
I thought it was just me, but then I started noticing that everybody I knew, they were saying fuck this, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but I don't let John do it. Period. We're not like gonna be like homies. They're still gonna have this.
Here's the thing with my kids. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
My kids see me. I cuss a lot, and you know I really have to pull it back. I tried not to cuss around them, but now I don't have any, and I need to. I feel bad about this. I don't have a filter. I always cuss. I think you've seen me cuss in front of them, man. And lately I haven't
noticed because it's not something I pay attention to.
A lot more, but I think because Dad does it, they think it's not cool, and they think that also it's they don't like it because they don't like me when I'm cussing because I'm mad.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of, you know, like when you're a kid and you witness your parents do something that's scary, like when you witness them fight for the first time. Here's another thing that goes back to.
I ain't never seen my parents fight.
Here's another.
Never.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Never.
Wow.
I've seen my mom be like disgusted with my, you know, like they, you know, and they've maybe had a little bit. I think I remember one time that my mom slammed the door, but it's very short. That's one thing. I didn't even think they did. I'm sure they, you know, I'm not going to get their personal business out there, but I can honestly say I've never seen them have a fight where it's like yelling back and forth. It's been very short-lived, but us as adults, we unintentionally forget, like I said, how it feels. Do you remember, and the whole thing with the sex stuff, okay, do you remember the first time you saw like actual porn? Yes.
Do you remember how it felt?
Yes, it was awesome.
Well, for you it was awesome, but for me it was kind of like, whoa, it made me change my views. Well, it makes you change your views. You look at people differently, obviously. You look at grown-ups differently.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. For me, my grandfather had been getting subscriptions to Playboy magazine since it started.
See, we had to go out and like seek that shit. It wasn't just nobody I knew had Playboys. My cousin apparently found some under my dad's bed.
But you know, nobody thought that Playboy was bad because they didn't show like Hustler. He didn't have Hustler. That was like pornography. The other one
that was like even beyond Hustler.
Club.
Club.
Cherry.
Oh man, Club, dude. Oh,
yeah.
We used to go out on the coast where I used to go to the beach. I used to hang out with my cousin Jesse, and that dude, he was my step cousin, but that dude was like bad. He was like the kid that used to kill animals.
Yeah.
And like, I think he died of a drug overdose actually. lost touch with him a while ago, but he was just, it's probably a good thing he's not here anymore. I hate to say it, but he was just, yeah. But we used to go like fucking dirt biking and like fucking, or BMXing. We didn't have dirt bikes.
Right.
He did. But out there on the coast, there was this barn, because like it was just being developed, and there was this barn, dude. I'll never forget. Like we went up in the barn, and there was fucking like, it was like the '80s porn story where there was like porno pages everywhere spread out in this barn.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't fucking Playboy. It was like Club. That's why I remember Club, because it was like, holy shit, that can go in there.
You're seeing like vaginas spread open, and you're seeing stuff going in
buttholes and like.
Yeah. Now the first time,
children.
The first time I seen that, I was pretty young. My dad had this guy working for him, and he was Donnie McKinney, and that's all I'm going to say about him. This guy was like, I thought this guy was the coolest motherfucker. He was a biker. He was a member of a motorcycle club. He drove a Harley.
So you were a little kid?
I was probably about 12.
Okay, yeah. So impressionable, yeah.
I was already beaten off. You know,
you were doing big boy stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, they had an apartment in Brooklyn, New York, because my parents had a contract to do security at the 7th World Trade Center when they were building it, the one that fell.
No, I heard things other than dogs. It sounded like people yelling.
No, you hear that damn dog. I hope it don't come through on.
It won't.
That dog is. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Donnie McKinney had a room in this this apartment, and he wasn't there, and we were up there for Christmas, so we stayed at this apartment. It was downstairs from my aunt's house, so of course I'm going through his shit because he had like cool biker shit. He had biker magazines, and I was like,
the biker magazines.
If
are
I
raunchy,
get the
bro.
Easy Rider, there's some boobies in there. Well, underneath all that, he had like the straight up, like the porno in a book. You know what I mean? It's like they took a porno and they put it scene by scene. I didn't know what double penetration. I didn't know where that dick was going.
Yeah.
But all I know was I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel ashamed. I didn't feel dirty. I was like,
well, as a 12-year-old, but
as a 12-year-old,
I just think I really believe firmly we need to protect innocence, man. That's what we're fucking up with this generation. We need to protect innocence. Let the kids be kids. Because you know what? When you lost your innocence, the world started sucking, didn't it? Life got really...
It changed,
And it's like...
I used to think about being like a fucking world hero, like Red Dawn at my school, and I was going to be the fucking hero that saves everybody, to wanting to play baseball and stuff. And as soon as that hit, it became, how can I be cool enough to get girls? And that was like, everything started changing. And kids should not be exposed to sex.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, they should know what it is. Because, like,
I mean,
you want to hear how I had the talk? Check this shit out, bro. So... What's that?
I've got to have it soon, I reckon.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
but why? They never go outside. They never go anywhere.
I kind of had it with Brandon, but it was by accident, and it just. What were we talking? We were talking about something. I said, Brandon, you know where babies come from, right? And he's like, yeah. He kind of chuckled. I was like, all right, that's far. I was like, because we're talking about girls. Brandon's my middle guy.
Yeah.
He's much more. So, you know, as a parent, I don't know if you do this, but you always have your bet on who's going to make you. Like when you have multiple kids. And they're all similar ages. I had a bet on who's going to make us a grandparent first. It's a little game I like to play.
Yeah.
And at first it was Jaden, but now Jaden's he's at that age where, yes, his body's going through the changes, but he's just not focused on girls yet. Like he's not focused on guys yet either. If that's his thing, whatever.
Right.
That's who cares.
Right.
But you know, he just doesn't care.
Well,
about
you
that
got
shit.
boys, so you only got to worry about 3 dicks.
Yeah,
that's it. You only got to worry about. I had daughters, so when you got daughters, you got to worry about all of them. You know what I mean? So,
I was sitting there and see how this went. I'm going to tell you how I got the talk and how Brandon got the talk. And so far, Brandon's the only one that's had the talk. But I'm gonna have to give it to Jaden. Jaden's just so innocent, man. And
I'm sure Brandon's already told him.
They already know. Oh, I freaking know. But this is how Brandon.
You tell the oldest one, he passes it down.
I was just saying. I was like, hey, Brandon, man. I was like, I know. You know, I was like. Do you have any girlfriends yet, or any girls hitting on you at school? Just talking, shooting the shit with them, and he's like, no, Dad. Like he's like got all embarrassed. I was like, come on, dude. I know for a fact there's girls in this neighborhood that have a crush on you right now. Like I know this. And I was like, you're a handsome dude. You're gonna be a stud. You know, I was trying to explain to him. I was like, you got to just do the right thing, and you know, you're gonna have all these girls probably trying to freaking get you. You just got to look out for the the good ones. Mm-hmm. Trying to explain that to a 12-year-old. And the kids hung like a horse too. So out of all 3 of them, good job, buddy. Yeah, I was like, damn, man, he's gonna be trouble.
Wait a minute, where does that come from?
Nice one.
Where does he get it from? His mama's side of the family or dad's side of the family?
A little of both.
Where are you at?
We're good.
What have you? I know you've measured it. What is it?
My sister's probably listening, man.
Who cares? You're an
All right,
adult.
I'm a fucking length guy, so I'm about 7.5, 8.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm not a girth
yeah.
guy. I'm not a girth guy.
7.5 to 8. That's fucking big, bro. Okay.
Depends on the day, though.
That's
but we're talking like
but now I just envisioned an uncircumcised 8-inch dick, and I'm like, that's gross.
No, on average, like 7.5.
Okay.
But if you really pull it, there's always the base measurement, and then there's like the functioning measurement. God damn
my
it,
inner shaft.
It got really awkward.
Well, I could get 7 inches if I measured my inner shaft. You know what I mean?
Turn the podcast off, family. No, but fuck
somewhere there's a girl that hates me that's like, fucking liar.
No, but dude, Brandon's he's got everything going for him, man. So, fuck, dude. But anyhow, back on track.
Look how embarrassed he is.
Not embarrassed, it's just funny. This is good, dude. You're gonna post the shot.
Yeah, definitely. If it makes me look like a homo for asking.
Here's the cool thing, though. This is how I discovered this. Like, I mean, obviously, but they got that measurement tool on fucking the iPhone now, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can
really.
Dude, yeah. You can pull your phone out, and there's a measurement tool in there.
Well, yeah, but
and it's pretty accurate.
But what does he take a picture of it or something?
Yeah, it's the camera.
Okay.
But it's accurate. I tested it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
anyways, I'm gonna try it.
So I'm sitting there talking to Brandon. I was like, because he's like, Dad, why do people have boyfriends and girlfriends? I'm like, you know why, huh? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you know how babies are made, right? Already, I don't have to talk about. He's like, yeah, Dad, I know. I was like, okay, so I was like, buddy, you're gonna be blessed in that sense of life, so enjoy it. I was like, start paying attention to that shit because you're in that age.
You need to let them know. I would have been like, you got to let them know. You got to start talking shit now because you can't pull your dick out anymore because you'll get kicked out of school for that. But you got to start. You got to start letting everybody know that you're well hung somehow. Like maybe just going into the stall and taking a piss next to a guy and looking at him and just laugh and be like, yeah.
Dude, but
or talk shit about somebody being like having like a little dick and then people are like, well, what the fuck your dick look like? And be like, shit, 7 inches, 8 inches, a limp, No.
Dude, it's funny because like I was just like it's funny because like I said, when they were, how do I say this without sounding like a fucking weirdo? When Brandon was a baby, it's like, goddamn, dude. He, even as a baby, that shit was like a fucking adult thumb. And I was like, good job, son. Good for you. So,
well, John was too when he was born, and his brother, my second wife.
We're so getting canceled for this, dude.
My second wife's son was there, and he was about 10 years old. And John, he can't. I think babies come out with. It looks pretty long, and I was like, he's hung more than you are, and you're 10. Everybody was like, shut the fuck up, don't tell that to a 10-year-old.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
But
I got to take a piss, so let's take a break.
Good life.
At home, she has the, all right, we're back. I had to quiet the dog down. I had to pee. So what were we talking about here? We're talking about the sex talk with the kids, man.
And about raising children who are well hung and fucking handsome. So threats to society.
Yeah.
But,
man, I guess I gotta give John the talk, but John's got older brothers, his stepbrothers that
Oh, I didn't know that.
One he's 18, the other one's 15, 16, about gonna be 16 this year. So I'm sure he's already heard
they know.
Sometimes I make comments like to Jody or something, or I'll make a comment to you or something, and it'll be like innuendo. And he'll laugh, and I'm like, "What the hell are you laughing at?"
They know, dude.
Like when we say BBC, whenever you said, "Oh, I love the BBC."
I was in the lineup, and I was like, "I love the BBC."
And John wouldn't stop talking about it. I'm like, "You don't even know what that is." He's like, "Yeah, okay."
They freaking know. So yeah, they know.
Yeah,
they know.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, internet, boom, right there.
Yeah, it's there, man.
Could you imagine? Imagine being a kid on Google and you search fucking like just something random, and you know how much porn still comes up.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh, I was doing this. Oh, man, this is...
I couldn't imagine. I'm sorry to cut you off. I couldn't imagine. I want to stay on this topic. I couldn't imagine when I was 12 years old if I had access to porn.
Oh, my God. Like that?
Like that. Well, now, there are some that are listening now and say, well, your kid shouldn't have access to it. But come on, man. It's so hard. If they have any type of... It can go on their PlayStation.
Yeah.
And unless you're a computer nerd, which I am not, I don't know how to go in there and... check the settings. All I can do is go check his search history, but that fool's smart. He knows how to... I check his search history, he don't have none. He knows how to delete it. So I know he's watching some dirty shit.
So back to TikTok. This is why I have an issue with TikTok, and I think you'll agree with me here. The girls at their schools, all right?
Mm-hmm.
they do these stupid little fucking dances on TikTok. They sexualize themselves on TikTok. These like 11, 12-year-old kids. You know, I remember this. It's like there's like a 12-year-old kid posting something about like, oh, I need a real man. Bitch, you don't need a real man. You need to fucking do your homework.
Yeah.
But
well, I don't know why you single out TikTok on that.
Well, because it's been proven that like, have you watched that thing on TikTok, the Netflix documentary?
No,
dude.
No, because anybody can make a fucking documentary and swing it. I'm just telling you like this.
This is not swinging. This
TikTok
is
no different than Facebook.
Yes, it's not.
It's no different than Instagram. It's no different than YouTube. Yeah. Okay. It's matter of fact, TikTok for entrepreneurs, for anybody, no matter what your business is, TikTok is the best tool that you have for marketing.
There's been a proven point that there's a whole section of TikTok that's underage girls being provocative.
I'm sure there is.
And they're putting hashtags like glug glug and shit. You know what glug glug is, right?
I know.
Deep throating, right? So you got these little girls.
Thank God for bad parents, because those little girls are going to grow up to be women one day, and
then that's when you wonder why you got to go to OnlyFans.
That's parents, man. Come on, man. If my son's making TikTok videos, I'm looking at them. I peep in on his. He does a lot like Japanimation type,
which is even a weirder. Fucking, you know what hentai is, right?
No,
like
no, it's not porn. Yeah, no, I'm talking about just regular like video game type stuff. So I watch, but if I go on there and I see my 14-year-old kid, and he's insinuating that he's high or smoking dope, or if he's talking about fucking, his ass is in trouble. Like, I don't, so
dude,
you can blame the apparatus all you want. It's like blaming the gun. It's like saying, oh, mass shooters, we got to get rid of guns. When you blame the apparatus, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, whatever, it's all on the parents. And unfortunately, we are dealing with, just think about this for a second.
Yeah.
Generation Z are 18, 19 years old. They're coming into adulthood now. They're going to be able to fucking vote. The millennial generation are in their 30s.
Yeah.
So another 20 years, what is this fucking society going to... These fucking people are, for the most part, I know there's sprinkled in there's some level-headed ones. Probably more level-headed, intelligent people than we give credit for, like the silent majority. They just don't speak out. The ones that we're seeing, and I look at some of these kids at 15 years old and the way they think, and now they're going to be 18 and they still live at home, 19, 20 years old. They're still like children.
But
25 years old, they still act like children. They don't know things that adults should know, but they're going to be decision makers here soon. Yeah. So we're fucked.
And our parents thought we were the ditzy idiots, but we had more common sense than this generation does. So we had more knowledge of the world and how things work, and intelligence. One thing that really bothers me, and I don't know how we can fix this, or if we even can, but if you look at like American culture, the past, we'll even go back 30 years. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing
give us some context. 30 years ago, what year was it?
30 years ago, it would have been like 1993.
Fuck.
Okay. Yeah. I know.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm going to go further than that. I'm going to go further forward. I'm going to say 2000.
Okay, so 20.
Definitely the 2000s.
Okay.
Because that's when like Idiocracy came out and shit.
Yeah.
There has been nothing intellectually created and that was pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
There's been nothing of intellect.
The internet killed all that.
It's all memes. It's all mindless pop music that's literally background noise. You listen to that shit and it's fucking... I don't know how anyone can listen to pop music now and like that's their main thing.
Yeah, it's
like literally shit to be playing in the background to distract you from whatever the fuck you're doing.
Even
it's repetitive noises. Music. It's repetitive noises.
Well, there's good music out there. It's just not mainstream. You got to go on you got to find if you like country music, you got to go on YouTube to find the good country. If you like rock, you got to go on YouTube. But I'm gonna tell you where I see that breakdown when that started happening. And I'm convinced it was a plan. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't just evolution. It was actual fucking societal engineering or social conditioning.
Yeah.
Is about the time that they changed the law and allowed news stations to be opinionated. The birth of Fox News. Now, I'm not blaming Fox News, but round about that time.
And artists.
See, back when we were younger and before that, independent music labels existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then throughout by the end of the 90s into the 2000s, all those independent labels were sold to like Interscope.
Mm-hmm.
So now
BGM.
So now all of the music is owned by like 2 companies. Okay.
Yeah.
All of the media is owned by one company. All the media in this country is owned by like General Electric. And then if you really keep going, it goes back to like Chinese companies. Yeah. So all your newspapers, all your local newspapers, all your local media is all in the control of one company. And that just goes on and on and on to where we used to have an antitrust law, like antitrust laws in America where you couldn't have monopolies. Remember, they broke up AT&T.
Yeah.
The government stepped in and said AT&T had to break up and give up their lines.
You just reminded me of a major thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
Today, but here, I got to write it down
Well,
because
don't
I really
kill
want to
my
talk about this,
fucking
dude.
train of thought here.
This is going to fucking blow
conditioning.
you away once you hear this shit, dude.
All right, well, go ahead and tell me.
No, but go ahead. Monopolies.
You already fucked my train of thought up, so tell me.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Dude, Hawaii. The local Hawaiian Honolulu Council is voting right now to give themselves a 68% raise. And it's probably going to pass.
That's going to pass.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. I'm telling you, government, I said it when Pappas was on. The governments are only good at one thing, and that's preserving the government. They're going to get their pay raises.
What kind? No, but like how fucking, this is straight up like,
That's
not a call for fucking, we can't say that shit anymore.
What? It should be, but it's not because they know. The same thing on one of the shorts that I put out on the last podcast when I said that the people that were, America, Trump, don't tread on me, but got the fucking vaccine because they didn't want to lose their job. That's the majority.
I want to pull this shit up because I want to tell you the numbers. This shit is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah. That's what, while you're pulling that up, that's what they rely on. So this social conditioning that's been going on since the end of the 90s, all the music, all the media, everything's controlled.
I'm not.
And now everybody's fucking a sheep. And I'm going to tell you what pisses me off the most is black culture, like where it is at. And I'm going to say it. And I know that, because I'm not a black African American, that, a lot of people think that I shouldn't even have an opinion on.
What's that?
But black culture, the African American or the black culture that I grew up around was always cool. It was always cool. You had, going back to the 60s, you know what I mean? With Good Times and all the shows and the music, the rap, there was always a coolness to it. The rappers and the black culture, black men were known for being able to dress. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's still cool.
Even though to some people it was flashy, but there was always an element of coolness to it.
It is.
I don't know what happened to black culture that now it's almost mimicking the white culture of the 80s with all the satanic shit. And the androgynous, like wearing dresses and painting your fingernails, and the music is fucking like the music was made, the rap music, because I was a fan of hip hop my whole life, ever since I heard it for the first time. I think the first rap album I ever had, I got it from the library. It was the Fat Boys.
The library. Remember when you go to the library and get CDs?
And get, CDs, motherfucker. When I started going, it was records or tapes, but I got the Fat Boys. So I've always been into hip hop, and I just look at it now and I'm like, what the hell happened to black culture? Like, it's not your position to even think about it. Yeah, well, I think that's
what everybody says.
I think that going back to the control that was taken over of the music industry was kind of they did it on purpose. Like, it's got to be a conspiracy, because there was always been an element of just coolness to even some of the thuggish shit that was like gang related.
Can't say thug anymore.
It was cool. I can say whatever the fuck I
know.
want.
I'm playing.
I'm saying, like,
I'm trying to show how stupid motherfuckers sound.
Well, don't do that here, because you keep fucking my train of thought up, and people might think we're like some woke white people. I'm talking about Tupac and Thug Life. I'm not talking about. And I know white people today have replaced the N-word with the word. And they say all these thugs and all these thugs. What they really want to say is all these N-words. I get that. Yeah. That's truth.
Right.
That's not just that's not bullshit. I know. I've been around when I won't say where I worked, but when I worked around these guys, they were very, I wouldn't say they were racist in a way that they wanted to keep anybody down. They just like their own people. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they would use words like that, and they would always interject this part of the conversation when they said, "Well, I was raised. There was a difference between black people," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's like fucking right." You realize that's a really racist thing to say.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get that, but going back to what I was saying before you broke my train of thought, the Tupac and the Thug Life and like Eazy-E and NWA and fucking MC8. and Compton's Most Wanted and DJ Quick. Even that was cool. Rap music today, black culture today is not fucking cool anymore. It's not cool. I don't know what happened. It's like, it seems to me like some white people got in control and we're like, all right, we got to stop this shit. We're tired of these motherfuckers being cooler than us. And now it's like ridiculous.
I don't know.
Man.
I'm tired of like you said, I'm just going to say it. Like, I'm tired of lack of accountability, man. Like, I just was on this bothered me yesterday. I was on the internet and it actually fucked my day up, man. It's like, what the fuck? How is this right? I'm just going to say it because you know what? Fuck it. Call me. This is not racism, man. This is just fucking like humanism. All right.
Get us canceled, Bren. Get us canceled.
I want to sit here one day and I want to go through comments and I want to replace the word what people say about white people with the word black person. See how it sounds.
Yeah, well, that's obvious.
But no, it's not just fucking black people though. It's
yeah.
Asian people saying it. Now the Asian people have been like, oh, well, fuck. Let's just fucking, we're all fucking oppressed and we've all been so fucking put down by whitey. We all have the right to jump on the boat and just fucking be racists now.
Do you know any Asian people?
I know a lot of Asian people.
Do they feel that way? Because all the Asian people I know, they don't feel that way at all.
You're right. It's just the internet people.
It's all media. It's all bullshit.
But here's the thing.
There might be one or two and they get the airplay.
But no, I think there's a lot of people that do feel like that. They just don't fucking say it in public. They look at you though, and you can always tell the way someone looks at you. Dude, everywhere I go, I get fucking judged up and down.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't feel welcome in California because I'm from an area where there's a huge Filipino community. Mm-hmm. And I have friends there still. But I know for a fact because of just shit I've seen on the internet. It's reaching the Philippines now. I'm a white dude married to a fucking Filipino chick. Mm-hmm. So right away we get fucking classified as, oh, she's a mail order bride. Oh, he's just a fucking piece of shit
that, or you met her in a bar.
That's exploiting fucking Asian women.
Yeah.
Bullshit. If I was a black dude with a fucking Filipino chick, they'd be like, oh, how cute. They're a mixed couple. Oh, good for them. That's the fucking bullshit we need to fucking squash right the fuck now. Because that's the same fucking shit.
But what I'm saying is I don't believe what you're saying really exists.
Oh, it does, dude. Oh, it does.
I think it exists in media.
No.
But in the real, because I was married to a Filipino woman.
Get on TikTok and look at what people are saying.
How would you know you're not on TikTok?
YouTube Shorts show up on TikTok. Shows up on YouTube Shorts, dude.
I think that's all sensationalism. And that's my opinion.
You ever been to California, man?
I don't think there's a race problem in America. I don't think that there is a race issue in America between black people, white people, between.
You ever been out west?
No, I've been out there, but I haven't lived out there.
Dude, it's way fucking worse than here.
But
just with hate.
But
it's not white people.
But like here
everybody.
in Fayetteville is a pretty diverse city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people from all over the country that live here. And I am in Fayetteville every day, all day. When I say that means I leave my house at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I go to Lowe's. I go to the gas station. From the gas station, I go to somebody's house. Yeah. Then I go to another gas station. Or maybe I got to go back to Lowe's. I'm in line. I'm in traffic. I'm with people. I'm talking to people. I'm interacting with Fayettevilleans. Villains. I don't know how we call them. Fayettevilleite or Fayettevilleans. There's no fucking race issue.
All right.
The only time there's a race issue is when somebody gets behind a microphone or gets on a camera and goes on TikTok. Yeah. And it's done to get you to get pissed off. Now, either somebody's funding it because they want to get pissed off and they're trying to spread their position, or it's somebody that just wants to get clicks. Because what we're doing right now, even though we suck so bad at it that we don't make a dime, there are people that make millions. When you see a guy that's got 2 million subscribers and averaging 245,000 views per video, makes over $2 million a year. Divide that by 365, and it's like $4,000 or $5,000 a day. That's real.
There's a fucking 450-pound dude that acts like a baby on the internet that has fucking 5 million subscribers right now.
Yeah, so he's making a shit ton of money. There's a guy that was a fucking professional prisoner in California. Have you seen this guy?
Professional prisoner.
Have you seen this guy?
Yeah, they do prison food and shit.
No, this guy, he's real jacked now.
Yeah.
I think his name's Wes.
Wow, that's the most 2023 shit I've ever heard, man.
Look, this guy's a baller now. He got out of prison.
Think about what you just said.
He was a Peckerwood. I think he's a Peckerwood. Yeah. But he started off his career talking about when you come into the yard, the first thing you gonna get with your race. I don't care. You want to be independent? No, you're putting in work. You come in here with a 2-year bid. You got 2 years, homie. You're packing this. You're hooping this. You're gonna carry this. So I'm doing life, so you can do 10 years.
Does that annoy you at all, though, that exists?
No, because to me that's interesting.
It's like it fucks with me that kind of shit exists.
What gets me is now the guy's a life coach.
Right.
Now I started watching this one guy. I like prison stories.
Yeah.
It puts you in tune. It broadens your horizons to hear interviews with people that you will. Yeah. You wouldn't have interaction with.
Right.
But the fact that he is a fucking life coach and he's a millionaire now, I don't hate it. I respect it. But at the same time, I posted on his thing. I mean, I've watched the guy. I've been watching him for a couple of years. Dude, you were in prison most of your life. Why the fuck would I want to take life coaching advice from you, you know?
But I mean, there's channels out there.
Why do you hate that exists? That's a guy that's making money doing his own thing. Why do you hate on that?
It comes back to the everything. There's a thing for everything now, and it's like,
yeah, but
I'm a professional prisoner.
Well, I think his angle is, it's almost like he goes into this thing about you got to put a shank in your asshole, so you got to stretch your asshole out. That's your luggage, right? Yeah. He's like, if any of this sounds gross to you, don't go to fucking prison.
Good point.
You see what I'm saying? Like he's telling you how it is. Now, I don't know how true it is. He talks with other prisoners. From what I know about the prison system, because I got family that have been in prison, it sounds pretty legit. Although I'm just like, in my mindset, I'm like, bro, if I go into a California prison system doing 2 years, I'm walking out in 2 years. You can eat a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying that as a free man. I'm not in prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of shit changes when you're in there. But I just find it interesting that the guy, I don't know. So my point was, I don't know whether to be pissed off about it. Like, man, what the fuck? This guy's, he just bought a fucking Bentley, cashed out, everything cash. And he's a life coach, and all he did was go to prison. But he's a hustler. He got on the internet, he got a presence, and he's making money. I'm all about it. Right. So you can't hate on social media and people making it, because right now we suck. But like I said in the last podcast, what happens if we end up on, one of the fucking, like the Nelk Boys, or we end up with the fucking Theo Vaughn? We end up in their ecosystem where you said something, maybe you talking about your son's endowment, it pisses somebody off, or somebody's like, do you believe this motherfucker? Not that that's groundbreaking, but now all of a sudden we got millions of subscribers, and we're making fucking $2 million a year, and I'm paying you $30,000 a year. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
No. So you're gonna complain about it then when you're fucking making a few $100,000? No, you're not gonna complain about it.
But I guess I just. Here's the thing, man.
I think it's great that these people are making money and they're not working for the man. They're not working for somebody. They're not in a position where they're like, oh, man, I don't want to get the COVID shot. America, don't tread on me, but I don't want to lose my job because I don't want my wife to be mad at me.
Here's what I don't like, though, man. It's like, I'm an empath. You've told me that before, okay? I feel like I can't control it sometimes, and it fucking sucks because, like, I feel hurt for people, period. Like shit that people say on the internet, it gets to me when they say it, when they lump people, regardless of who it is. Like, I don't like when people go out there. It bothers me. And there's a lot of people that like wow.
A lot of people out there like
me, which we need more of, controlling the world, other than these fucking psychos that want to fucking kill everyone.
It'll never happen.
It won't, but.
It'll never happen because you don't possess the fucking skills, or the skill set to murder innocence.
Yeah.
You don't possess,
without feeling bad about it.
You don't possess you don't have the tools to fucking like throw people in fucking jail for life for selling marijuana.
Okay, I remember what I was going to say. So, I was at the PX a while ago. This is probably a year ago. When was it? Oh, it was when I got my GoPro. So I remember it because I was looking for a GoPro, and I overheard, and this was a manager in the power section. All right, check this shit out, man. I was sitting there just in the distance, and they were talking, and she was talking to her employees, and she was an older black woman, and she said, if it's white people, I don't even talk to them. I don't talk to white people. But help everyone else. Are you fucking serious?
I've never experienced that.
How fucked is that? Like, imagine that, dude.
Maybe it is because you're redheaded.
No, it wasn't directed toward me. I just overheard her, and I was like, man, I really want to say something. But if I would have reported to her management, nothing would have happened.
Nothing.
But why is that okay? You cannot say that's not the same as saying don't fucking talk to black people.
Well, it is
because
the same.
They're black.
It is the same. Here's what I would tell you. This is what I would tell anybody that's complaining. I'm not saying that you're complaining like you're bitching. You're legitimately.
What do they call it? White fragility? If
no,
I feel
what
that
I'm
way,
saying
fuck
is
that shit, man. It's fucking being a human being.
For white people that don't like being around what you just described, then move to a fucking change your circumstance.
No, but dude, that's not cool, man.
Move to a place where there's no black people.
Why can't we live in a fucking world where people don't even like?
I don't know.
That's not okay. And but the thing is, it's okay to do that now. Those people who say that kind of shit don't get canceled at all. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh, poor you. You have a right to say that. Fuck that, dude. Nobody has a right to think like that, man.
I think that
anymore, like it's time to move beyond that.
It does not bother me to hear that.
Bothers me.
It don't bother me because at the end of the day, I'm still a white male in America. I'm just joking.
No, dude.
But seriously,
that's an unhealthy way to fucking. Dude, that's the same exact shit that the motherfuckers in Alabama in the '60s were saying. That's just. And if you don't see it that way, you're fucking dumb,
yeah,
dude.
But here's the thing, though.
You're an asshole.
What you're describing is a product and a plan and a conspiracy of white supremacy.
It is.
Think about that. What you're describing, where it's okay to openly discriminate against a group of people, that is a product, a plan, and for lack of a better term, it's a conspiracy of white supremacists.
Yeah,
they did that to black folks for how many during Jim Crow? It was okay.
Hundreds of years.
It was okay. But I'm talking about in modern America. You're right. Going back, you want to go back in history, then yeah. But I'm talking about let's say in the 20s, the 20th century. It was okay. There are people on the news saying, dropping N-bombs, and that's what they were referred to as, and they were discriminated against hardcore. That made white people feel that they were better than black people, even though to the people running the country, y'all all the same to us. You see what I'm saying? If you guys ever get together, if you guys ever get together and realize that we're the bad guys, there's too many of you. We can't stop it. So it's divide tactics. So they played that out. They used that. Now it's the other way around, but they're still placating it because it keeps people divided.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Think about it. That's why it doesn't bother me.
But are we really the bad guy? I never really,
man,
I've never.
You ain't done shit. I ain't fucking sorry. I don't fucking feel responsible.
The world is relative, man. Like everyone does the same shit everywhere. It just happens to be the microscopes on us right now.
I think it's all of, maybe I can only speak on how I experience things. Now I look at the news and I think that there's about to be a race war. Okay.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I thought there was going to be a race war. In 1970 something, I'm sure they thought there was going to be. In 1960s, they thought there was going to. Ever since they started with this fucking divide and conquer tactics, because civil rights happened, you couldn't do it blatantly anymore. Before the civil rights movement, it was fucking real easy. But after that, you couldn't do it no more legally. So they still did it in a way like, okay, now Democrats, we've spent the last 400 years or however 200 years. We were the party of slavery. We had Jim Crow laws, but we lost. So now how can we we're not just going to fucking tuck tail and win. So they changed their tactics. LBJ's tactic. He said, and I don't know if it's on, I think it's on record. You can actually find it and you can play it. And if we had a Jamie here, I would say pull it up, where he was having a conversation with the governor of Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah, during...
and he said, hey, and they were discussing this. And he said, I'll have every N-word voting Democrat the next 100 years. And the idea was the welfare state, okay? Once you get people hooked on the government, you can control them, okay? It is a fucking known fact that the black community was more prosperous as a community during and before Jim Crow. When white people wouldn't let black folks into the movie theater, they built their own movie theaters. Yeah. When they weren't allowed to bank in the white play, there was I heard stories.
Well, Wilmington got destroyed.
Yeah, and like Rosebud, like so.
Yeah.
So
not just Wilmington, a bunch of cities, man.
And then, you know, there were fathers in homes. You hear it all the time, and I don't want to be, you know, like regurgitate and plagiarize, but ever since the Southern Strategy, which is what it was called, the Southern Strategy, the black community has been dismantled, okay? I'm talking about 70%, 75% or 72% single motherhood, the abortion rates, like they've been killing black babies. That's the reason why they stay in the like 13% of the population. Like the Mexicans that come over from Mexico and have families and migrate here, either illegally or legally, have outpaced the black community. It's like they've been decimated. And now the culture is being, in my opinion, the culture is being fucking, that's why, you know, I say that, and I know there's some black guy that's going to be like, you ain't got no right to say it, you know, but I'm saying that in a light as a pro-black type of
but that's saying that though is like saying you don't have a right to breathe air as a human being.
I don't care what
I
people
do have a
say.
fucking right to say it, dude. I'm a fucking human.
So,
I have emotions.
I don't think so. In my experience, everywhere I go, okay, today coming down here, I was making a right-hand turn on the Ramsey Street from the Sheetz gas station, and there was a red light, okay, and it was rush hour. So I'm waiting, and the car stopped and let me out because he knew that if he went there, I would be waiting for the whole thing. And I probably, black guy.
Yeah.
I just happened to know because I always wave to people.
People are fucking
when
cool,
I
man.
walk into the same gas station at least 4 times a week, I see the same people here. Hey, how's it going? Or the lady that works there. There's never any animosity, black, white, whatever. Standing in line at Lowe's, in the parking lot, waiting on them to deliver my order so I can put it on the trailer. And I never experience it. I only see it and experience it when I'm watching media.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe. And maybe that's me being naive. I just don't believe. I believe that, like you said, people can get on the internet and they can say, F you, F that, blah, blah, but in front of a fucking black dude or in front of a white dude, when you're having a and as long as we're being respectful to each other in public like that, like I'm not walking in and if I go to hold the door and I see a black guy coming and I just say, fuck it, I'm not holding the door. You know what I mean? Or I see a black guy trying to get out in traffic and I fucking intentionally go up. As long as I'm not doing that and I don't notice that every time I need to have a favor done that a black dude's like, oh, I would, but you're white. As long as I'm not experiencing that, then we're good.
I think it exists. It's just you haven't like experienced it. Because like so living in Hawaii, I picked up on a lot of shit. Man, being a white dude in
Hawaii's a little bit different, though.
Yeah, but you start to really see
because you are literally on their fucking property, and they literally got jacked.
Well, yeah, I not. But here's the thing: there's so many people in Hawaii that aren't even fucking. They're transplants. Just like it's admitting what racism really is, and like people need to be like, yeah, me acting like this is fucking bullshit because that's fucking hate. Period. All right. If you're brown and Asian, you get a pass in Hawaii, period. My wife, I told you, I had neighbors that never fucking talked to me when I lived off post. The moment my wife shows up, they're like, oh, what's up, brother? Mm-hmm. Talking to my wife. My wife's a little brown Asian chick. She gets a pass. You can't fucking hate on me when...
Well, let's go back, though.
Let's go back.
Hawaii was a...
No, I don't fucking... Okay, I agree, all right? Mm-hmm. But that's the same shit like here saying... Oh, because fucking white people 200 years ago owned fucking slaves, I can fucking hate you now and call you a piece of shit fucking honky.
Well, it wasn't just, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I used to get in these discussions when Malcolm X is one of my favorite historical figures. Yeah. I believe Malcolm X is up there with Francis Marion and being one of the greatest American patriots.
What happened to him? They took him out.
Yeah, but before that, you know, when you
say that again, buddy. What you just said.
I believe that Malcolm X is one of the great American patriots. One of the greatest American patriots. Above Martin Luther King. I put him above. And people hear me say that, especially white people, and are like, haven't you ever heard? He was like calling white people devils, and he was a Muslim, and he was blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but...
But did you hear what he said? Like,
think about...
became full circle?
I like Malcolm X when he was Nation of Islam Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Not when he went away from the nation. I like him from the beginning. And people will say... Well, he was talking about white people and being the devil. I'm like, but context, okay? It was 1959, 1963, whatever, 1962. there were literally places in America where black folks could be well-loved entertainers, but then go and have to go through the back door. Or the Boston Celtics, who were the championship, Bill Russell wasn't allowed to go in and eat in Alabama. That was going on. So can you fucking blame him?
Meanwhile, are dying in wars for our country. Since the Revolutionary War, every war that our country's been in.
Or how about went to World War II and a lot of them weren't even allowed to fight because there was it was science. Everybody's like, trust the science. They had scientists that said that they would not fight.
No, that was the Civil War.
No, it's World War II.
It was a civil war when the government didn't believe in the capabilities.
Well, yeah, but that goes all the way to World War II. They didn't believe that they would fight. It was Eleanor Roosevelt had to get in and go fly in an airplane with the Tuskegee guys or something.
Yeah, you're right.
They were segregated units.
It's fucking man.
So that was not a long time ago. That was like 2 people ago. That was like my grandmother, who's still alive. That was her era. So it's not like it was 100 years ago.
And every time I had those feelings about hearing shit about well, fuck you, Whitey, I do try to remember those things because.
Well, that doesn't excuse it. I'm not excusing that, but you can kind of see where you can kind of there may be, we're not far enough away from it yet.
Yeah.
Because if my grandmother was alive during that time, that means there's a guy out there that's my age that hears a different story from his grandmother than I heard. They know the real racism. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they kind of grew up in a time where black parents might be like, hey, y'all quit acting up. There's white people watching.
Oh.
Could you imagine that?
Right.
And I experienced that with friends of mine. They would, black friends of mine we'd be all doing something, hanging out, playing, whatever. We were riding bikes in my neighborhood, which was a mixed neighborhood, but it was probably seen as like a white neighborhood, even though there were 4 or 5 of my 7 friends were black. When my grandfather was around, they acted totally different because he was an old white dude. Mm. And I understood it. They never had to explain it to me. I kind of understood it because I just grew up around here.
Yeah.
So when you have that, there's going to be a little animosity. I give a little grace, but we're not. I just don't think we're far enough away from it to be. We want to say 400 years ago, but really it was 40 years ago.
60 or 70. But here's
40
the thing.
or 50s. 1970. White people didn't just wake up one morning and say, oh, civil rights, that's it, it's over. There was a lot of residual. And I don't believe that systemic racism exists at all in any form today. Yeah. I think it's classism. I think it's always been classism.
It
but
is.
When classism was when black folks were the whipping post now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's easy,
right?
Because we got no one to defend us. They had no one to defend them, so it was easy to do that. But I believe that we stomped it out, and it's gone because in 1975 or 1976 or even 1984, there might have been a foreman at a factory that would have not promoted or hired a black guy because he was prejudiced.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so. When affirmative action came in, I think everybody was against it and white people were against it. But, the black guy that couldn't get the job, he was like, maybe that guy's more qualified than me, but fuck him. It's better than being broke.
Yeah.
I don't think we need that anymore. I think now it's gone overboard.
Now it's like,
we reached equality.
How can we move past though when people here, for instance, dude, I do stupid shit all the time whenever something fucking triggers me. I hate to use that goddamn word too. But I went and I just Googled current race issues. And the first article I read was about this lady telling white people that anything we say about race, we don't have a right. It's called white fragility.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what she said. And I was like, I want everyone to think about this. She said, hey, white person, look, you act like you like black people. You act like you're not racist, but then look at your wedding pictures. Well, hey, black people, you act like you're fucking not racist. You act like you're not the racist, but look at your wedding pictures. How many that's the kind of
Again, whoever said that is a fucking moron, and I don't give her no credit. But you get what I'm saying, right? I do, but I think that what I'm trying to pull you out of is this mindset that there is reverse racism. Of course it is, but you don't.
It's not reverse though. It's just fucking racism.
But all it does though is piss you off. It doesn't affect you.
But here's the thing, man.
Racism to me is you can't get ahead. You cannot go and get an apartment somewhere because of your skin color.
Yes.
You cannot go get a loan on a house, or if you do, it's going to be like what they did with the black community in Compton, California in the 50s, 60s. They was like 30, 45% interest rates, you know, and they knew that they were robbing them, but they took it anyway because they wanted to move up out of the South. When you are you can't get ahead.
Or you can't get pulled over without being nervous and feared for your life.
The guy down the fucking street who hates my guts because of my creed, color, religion, who I'm married to, who I'm fucking, I could give a shit less about him. And if he can only affect me if I let him by getting pissed off. So these white people, now there's a white lady I heard saying that if you use a meme of Michael Jordan crying,
you're racist.
No, it's not that you're racist. You are what they call virtual blackface.
And digging, dude, digging.
And all she's doing is she's getting some white people. Do you realize how many black people agree with what you're saying? A lot of black folks agree with what you're saying. It's all over TikTok. All over TikTok. Like Trump got like 30%. And I think there's a big thing now because TikTok, my bubble's different than your bubble. Yeah. So I get a lot of like in the middle type shit. I don't get in a bunch of Trump stuff. I don't get it. So I get some liberal stuff and I get some right wing, but because I'm so in the middle, it picks up on your algorithm. Yeah. There is a big voice in the black community that is against exactly what you're saying, but because you're in a bubble and because you're watching it and it's triggering you because it's supposed to, and that's getting that person, just getting a click and a like on YouTube isn't what is the biggest thing. Retention, how long? Like we put out a 2-hour podcast. I think that we only average about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Because people will stop, play, they'll go back because they can't. Who's got 2-3 hours to sit down? So. Right. When you got somebody saying that you white people should shut up and blah, 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 they're pissing you off, they're triggering you, you're watching their video. Or you agree with what they're saying, you're watching their video and they're becoming relevant. Yeah. Don't think that black folks are monolithic. You know what I mean when I say that? They're not all the same. Like the majority of the mindset is that all black folks don't trust white people. Right. Now, well, I shouldn't use that one because I wouldn't trust white people if I was black right from the start.
I don't trust white people and I'm white.
Yeah. I don't. Here's the thing. Everything.
I've never felt like that's the thing. And it's you can't say you never saw race because that's white supremacy when you say you never see race and you're racist for saying you never. It's like, what the fuck? Am I supposed to do? Race. Fucking die? Is that?
I do see color.
Is that what people want? Do they want me to die?
No,
because that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to tell you that's sensationalism.
If I have black friends, I'm racist. If I don't have black friends, I'm racist. If I fucking say how I feel about,
but who's telling you this?
Everywhere you go on the fucking internet.
On the internet, I'm trying to tell you.
You're
it's
trying to tell
me
that doesn't fucking matter. But how much does that shit influence our fucking lives outside of it?
It does about 50% on each side.
I'd say about 90%.
No, no way,
dude.
No way. 90% my ass.
Shit that happens on the internet, absolutely 100% fucking.
We're talking about race relations right now, and what I'm saying is, it might be 50% of people agree with what you heard, and 50% agree with what you think.
Okay,
it's just tactics. That's my opinion. Yeah. I don't think it's real.
Well, there's one that pulled up,
and I don't believe in this. Oh, I don't see color. I absolutely see color. I have friends. All my friends.
Everyone I make fun of color. Man.
I make fun of everybody based on where they're from, what city they're from, what their religion is. Yeah, I got a Mormon friend. Make fun of him all the time about his magic underwear, but he doesn't wear magic underwear. But I'm gonna say something like that.
That's such an '80s.
Mormon. Somebody. I got a buddy of mine from the Army. Call him Greasy. I watched the Whitney Houston movie because I'm a Whitney Houston fan. Don't make me gay, okay? But I watched the movie, and I was like, it was a good movie. Yeah. And then so he commented on there, and I said, man, why y'all do Whitney like that? Why y'all got to do Whitney calling her Oreo? He's black. I'm talking to a black man who was a Whitney Houston fan, but because she caught a lot of blackfish, I just grouped him in with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And there were people like, oh, you shouldn't say that. Like, I'm like, dude, he's my fucking homie. Of course I'm going to fucking like take shots at him, for little things, you know, just like I talk about you and your red hair, or, I'll talk about, a Mexican friend of mine about how or Puerto Rican friends of mine, how their house is always hot. You go in a Puerto Rican house, it's always fucking hot up in that bitch.
Really?
Yeah.
That's racist.
Whatever.
No, but,
I think that you are the product of the aim if that makes any sense. You're getting angry.
I'm getting angry because, no, here's another thing, too.
It doesn't exist.
It does exist, man. And people treat people differently because of that kind of shit. It's going to exist.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out, because I'm not calling you a liar, and I don't live your life, but maybe it is because you look really, really Caucasian, and people don't sometimes know if I'm Hispanic.
But how fucked up is that? Oh, what if you went up and were like, you look really black? How am I supposed to feel about you? You see what I'm saying?
It makes sense, but right now you're coming off a little racist.
Okay. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not trying.
I'm not. I know you.
That's not my point,
no, look,
man.
I know you, and I know you're not. But the people that are watching this, that maybe are in the middle, like, okay, I disagree, but I see where he's coming from. I think that maybe they're gonna start thinking that maybe you got a little bit of resentment there, a little white supremacy, a little white pride. Are you proud to be white?
I'm not proud to be anything, man.
That's what I don't understand. I see people all the time like, well, we can't be proud of being white. I'm like, white is not a thing.
I'm proud to be American.
Look,
I guess.
Here's the thing.
I don't even know.
Here's the thing.
I'm proud to be fucking
This is what I'm going to say.
alive.
White, black, brown, yellow, red did not exist until the 1600s. Find me a historical text where they're talking about a group of people and they're talking about their race.
Yeah.
Hannibal is thought to be, because of drawings and because of where he was from, not Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal, the guy from fucking Carthaginian, to be a black man. Yeah. But they never, ever fucking
Moors.
talked about it.
About the Moors?
Well, the Moors are fucking Moroccan.
I've heard that the Moors were made to be the enemy, the fall guys, too.
Well, they were Moroccans.
But there's all kinds of theories.
So they were like Arabs. They weren't. You got Africa. Africa is not a country; it's a continent. It's the biggest.
God, we're going.
So
this is
big.
Such a wormhole, man.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, you have sub-Saharan Africa is where you'll have like the darker skin. Northern Africa, you'll have skin color that's like mine or a little darker. And so you have all this different. But what my point is, race. A white man, a white person does not exist. No, a black person does not exist. But in America, because most, or a lot, I won't even say most, because there's a lot of history that's not right. Like,
where is there history that's right?
Hey, I know.
Where?
Well,
where is there people?
I don't know.
Where is there fucking history that's right?
I know black dudes that don't believe, they do not believe that the slave trade is what brought, there were already black folks living on this continent. They were already here. So, and they'll break it down to me. And I'm like, when I first heard it was kind of like when I first heard flat earth, I'm like, yeah, you sound like a crazy person. But they start doing the math. 12 million slaves, 200 per ship. There would have had to have been like, you know what I'm saying? In the birth rates, that there wasn't enough time to move that many people. Plus, if you read Christopher Columbus, his descriptions of the native people, they sound and the pictures look like black people. So there is a big contingent that don't believe our history. Like, they were already here. There's Native Americans in North Carolina that they're Cherokee. You look at them and you might think they're African. So being connected to a history, you're only told one history. You are a descendant of a slave. That automatically gives you like an inferiority complex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Automatically.
I'd be pissed. I get it. I would be fucking, I used to, it's stupid because like when I was in, when like Braveheart came out and shit, I obviously have Celtic blood. Okay? You can look at me. Yeah. And you can fucking see it.
Yeah.
Whether it's my red hair from my Austrian Jew
see
side,
it all in your face,
whether it's my fucking Norwegian side, I don't know. But when Braveheart came out, all of a sudden I had resentment for that movie and against the English. I fucking hated English people. Why?
Yeah.
Because that movie told me I need to. I didn't experience any of that shit, but that's what happened to Celtic people.
Well,
so
yeah.
I felt like I can relate. I felt like I should relate to that.
But you know that movie was not true.
Oh, it was bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, the battles were true.
The struggle was real.
The struggle was real, but like
the class struggle. Class struggle.
It's all class.
Yep.
I mean, you watch it, it was all white people. But so going back to race doesn't exist. Being a white man doesn't exist. So what do I need to be proud of? My family is from Italy and Germany and Ireland. I'm not ashamed of it, but to have any pride, So the same thing with being proud to be like a Mexican or a brown or Hispanic. It doesn't really exist. America created that. That's where like the 1619 Project gets its origins from, because prior to 1619, I believe, don't quote me on that, but quote me, I think I'm right. Prior to that, there's no mention of race. It was totally invented by bankers.
Yeah,
and that's
I thought race was more of a modern, but you're right. Like, it does go back to that time period, like the 1500s.
Do you know that interracial marriages
was illegal?
No, was interracial marriages in the colony of Virginia was not only legal, it was encouraged.
No, it was illegal until the 1960s.
No.
Let's bet on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, they wanted
marriage.
They wanted, because they, along with African slaves, they had indentured servants from England and Ireland.
Marriage was illegal.
They wanted them to get married because that would make them stay put. You're fucking wrong. I promise you.
Not wrong.
I promise you, you're wrong.
What do you want to wager? What do you want to wager?
And 3,000 of the fucking 3,000 slave owners were black.
What do you want to wager on that marriage law? Interracial marriage law.
I don't know. What do you want to...
You could.
I'm not talking about... No. First of all, I'm not talking about interracial marriage law. I'm talking about pre-American colonial Virginia. Interracial marriages were illegal. Fucking encouraged. Illegal. Because it... How do you fucking think, like in Louisiana, how do you think that they took all the fucking African men and they separated the women, and how do you think that they were able to fucking like procreate? They didn't just bring men and women and throw them in there. There might have been a Virginia law that was passed in Jim Crow era that made it illegal, but I'm talking about 1700.
No,
I'm talking about
thing, man. It's
okay,
a big thing. Because I even realized in Virginia, my marriage would have been illegal until like the 1970s.
Have you fucking watched one or two moon landing videos since the first podcast?
I got into that a little bit.
Okay. Have you? Because I'm not going to make a bet with you and then you're going to say you're right. I will go and I will spend an hour or two, because it's not going to take me that long to find it, and I'll send it to you and I'll be right. And for what? If you're not going to go and try to prove me wrong.
So the thing about Louisiana was so I actually studied this too. There were Filipinos in Louisiana in the 1600s.
They were Chinese,
yeah. They had their own community. You had all these ships. Obviously, there was a port. It's a big river. You know, it's access to... What do you notice about American towns of that time? They're either on the coast or they're on a river.
Okay,
right?
But get to the point about interracial marriages.
You had dudes jumping ship from the Philippines that were on Mexican and Spanish ships.
Yeah.
Well, Spanish ships.
Yeah.
Who created their own communities. And you had escaped slaves, runaways.
Yeah.
You had Native Americans who were trying to get away from the colonists. And these people got together. I said these people. Yeah. You can't say that. No. These groups got together and they intermingled and they intermarried.
Of course they did, but the Native Americans did too.
You had slave owners fucking their slaves, creating...
But
that's what Creoles are.
You're drawing a picture of slavery where everybody was locked up in a cage until it was time to go to work.
You were not allowed to marry a person of color in the South, period.
In what year? Because New Orleans and Louisiana was not always a part of America. It was not always under Democrat rule. That is like a new thing. I'm talking about New Orleans back in the 1700s. But it was still probably a French fucking... it was still under French control. They still had African slaves there.
You could not be legally married.
Okay, I'm going to prove you wrong on that.
I want you to.
Okay.
I want you to, please.
Because there were the whole fucking Indian Native American culture of Louisiana is almost all black, because it's all from it, because there were no women. They didn't take African men and women and they separated them. Right. Yeah. So they had to intermix with the Native Americans that were there. So that's why when you see the Native Americans in Louisiana, they're mainly, they look African.
Creole, yeah, Creole. There's the Cajuns, the Creole, and then the...
I know some Creole boys that would disagree with you on that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like Cajun. You know what Cajun means?
Yeah.
What?
The French immigrants, Canadian.
From Canada.
From Canada.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm on my shit, bro.
I was checking you on that.
I'm on my shit, dude.
So, you know, they had men.
French Canadians.
Any man, even if you have 500 prisoners, you're going to call them slaves, whatever you want to call them. They've got to have families. They've got to procreate. They got to have more.
Yeah.
You got to give them that. And we want to just go ahead and paint this picture in our head that during slavery, everybody lived in a cage until it was time to go to work, and they let them out of the cage. They were towns, and they were separated. They were separated. I only know South Carolina the way they did it because it's the only one I really studied. But because I met this guy, this black dude that I worked with in Iraq, and we were balling back then. He had bought a slave tag. And he had an actual one.
Wow.
And he had it cased in like fucking diamonds. And he had it on this platinum necklace. And I tried to buy it off him. I probably had $100,000 cash. I tried to give him $20,000 for just the tag. I didn't want the necklace. He wouldn't sell it.
No, dude. Fuck no, I wouldn't.
It became like a baller thing. Like, I don't need your money. And I think I was up to like $30,000.
Yeah, but you know how
But anyway, so I started looking into the whole slave tag thing.
Yeah.
That's when it opened up my mind to the practice of the day, what was going on, and then plantation politics, because you had field workers, you had trade, okay, your tradesmen would be the ones wearing a tag because they would go and build furniture and have a pass. Those guys were like valued. The guy who owns the plantation ain't digging no fucking well, and it's not easy to dig a well, to know where to dig a well. Yeah. So so they got houses, community, and then you had, the slaves that worked in the house, and they all thought they were better. So they were using those division tactics. That's 90% of South Carolina's population was black.
Yeah. Yeah.
How come they didn't all get together and just kill the fucking 10% and
control, man?
Well, because they were already divided down the road. So what I was saying about,
divide and conquer,
race is not a real thing.
Yeah.
So when I go out now I know it was used for a long time. I believe that we're cured of systemic racism. So I'm not ever worried whether I'm black, white, and people say, well, you're not, you don't know. But I don't think that anybody's being held back because of their color of their skin anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. And the guy down the street that don't like me because I'm white, I don't care.
Right.
He does not.
The bank's not going to not cash your check.
If it doesn't involve me making money or losing money, generally, I'm not very interested. I go based on how what I experience. And when I experience in Fayetteville, which is one of the most diverse cities I've ever been in, not just in race, but in location
in class.
They're from everywhere.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are in Fayetteville come from lower middle class America, whether it be Detroit, Cleveland, Pennsylvania, Los Angeles, San Francisco, border town, Arizona, Texas, country boys from Georgia, New York State. You're going to get it all right because that's enlisted military. Most of the military in Fort Bragg is enlisted. Most of them come from lower middle class, trailer park, projects.
Yep.
And they all come here. So you're not just dealing with black people, white people, brown people, Asian people. You're dealing with people from all over.
Yeah.
And when I walk through the crowd of Fayetteville, it's respectful. It's, hey, how you doing? Hey, good day. Yes, hey, you drop something. Hey, man, you need help? I have not experienced anything other than that. And so that, to me, is real life for me. But when I turn on the news, which I don't watch, but if I do watch it, I think there's about to be a fucking raise. Like, what the fuck? And then I see the white people now are the ones that I fucking can't stand. Yeah. I cannot I don't hate anybody, but a fucking white liberal, one of these fucking soy boy, like the guy, I forgot the guy's name, man. But he's a black guy. And he had this white guy on his talk show. He's a famous internet guy. He's a black guy that talks a lot of shit. But he was like, so do you hate black conservatives? And the guy's like, yeah. It's okay to hate black conservatives. You know what I'm saying? It's like these white people that think that they are the fucking spokesman for black America, for gay America, for brown America. It's white people, and they're telling everybody that they should be offended. They're telling you now, this is what should offend you. This is racist. I've known black folks my whole life. I don't think that even today, not one of them I know really gives a shit about trans rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't, like, how'd that get grouped in there? Because some fucking white liberal told them. And they're the same ones that are out there fucking blocking cars. Like fucking, most of the people I see, like in Portland, there ain't no fucking black people in Portland.
Man, it's
How many black people live in Portland? What's the population? That's all fucking. That's all white
it's all
boys.
white fucking little.
That's all fucking.
I call them
Birkenstock
I call them Trustafarians. You know what Trustafarian is?
Trustafarians. Yeah. That's
Great
what
term.
they are.
Great fucking term.
That's what that is.
Most
It's
of our
fucking
fucking
white
American culture that is garbage is Trustafarians, man. But you know,
But even they don't matter to me because they don't fucking cash my check.
I have a problem with anyone of this country who, it doesn't matter who you are, when you're sitting here trying to, especially when you're like in your 20s and you were born in the 2000s and you're sitting there trying to go on TikTok saying, there's this Asian chick that posts like, how dare white people come to Asian grocery stores? How dare they? Look at them. They don't belong here.
Again, bro, every time I walk into, we were just talking about Asian grocery store tonight where we go to get the kimchi. Every time I walk in there, they're like, hey.
Yeah, but.
And if I need help, they're smiling, they're helping. That is what you're.
But you report that chick for fucking hate speech, it's not going to get taken down.
Just keep scrolling, bro. Just keep scrolling.
Cool. Keep scroll. That's the title
just keep
today.
Scrolling.
Keep scrolling. Just keep
just
scrolling.
Keep fucking scrolling.
Yeah.
I get it. Sometimes, that's why I got fucking
dude, no,
banned.
I'm just saying, like, my point is, I just wanted to get, we're on the internet right now. We might reach 1,000 fucking million people one day. 1,000 people. Get that shit out of your fucking head. Stop hating, man.
Stop getting roped into it.
But no,
it's
I'm saying
all fake. Yeah.
Stop getting on the internet. These are young college kids, all right? These are successful American kids. Regardless of what their background is,
right.
They're still fucking in America. They're American citizens. Don't give me that shit. I'm fucking Filipino. Bitch, you don't even fucking speak Tagalog, all right?
Right.
You're sitting there talking about you're fucking oppressed.
Yeah.
And you can't stand white people. And you're on the internet with like 1 million fucking TikTok views. Get that. Stop.
Bro,
you want fucking hatred to die?
Stop
fucking spreading that shit.
If I could get 1 million views for every video, I'd be on here talking about fuck those goddamn ginger ass cracker motherfuckers.
Fuck
how
gingers
dare
too,
you?
man.
How dare you motherfucking come into my guy to get 1 million views per video? That's like millions of dollars a year, bro.
I'm gonna tell you something. You might make a clip out of this, bro.
Okay.
All right. This is a rough one.
Okay.
You take ginger, rearrange a few letters. What does it become?
Oh, so you're like you're the oppressed white man.
Hey, it's not. It's a fucking fact, dude. Seriously. Like, I can tell you some shit growing up, man.
It is.
Because of the color of my fucking hair and my complexion, people told me I was less than human. I had a girl pretend to like me, and fucking they trolled me. And this is before internet trolling. They trolled me to fucking destroy me
because you were redheaded.
Because I was a redheaded dude. All right.
Well, I'll admit, when there was a redheaded kid in my class or something like that, that was the first thing that I went for when we were snapping on each other was his red hair. I don't know.
Is that valid?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It is what it is.
It is. If it's valid to you, it doesn't matter if it's valid to me. You know, because I'm not redheaded.
Do I walk into a room and feel like I'm immediately being judged?
You know what? I think I just got something.
Yeah.
I think I just got something. So growing up around my friends that were black, they would always say, you can try to understand, you can try to relate, but you will never understand because you're not black.
No.
Well, it took me till I was today years old where I fucking fully understood that, because talking to you and you're talking about being redheaded, and I'm like, I guess I could, but I'm not redheaded.
What's the first fucking thing? What's the first thing that went through your head when you met, the first time you ever met me? What's the very first thing?
I didn't know you had red hair.
Right.
I didn't even notice.
What?
I didn't notice you had red hair until like a couple of weeks ago. I never noticed. Yeah, I never noticed.
Well, my hair's darker now.
I'm going to tell you right now, I honestly, the only time I pay attention to what someone is or looks like is when I want to make fun of them because we're homies. if we're not on that level to where I can snap on you, I'm not paying attention to that.
That's how it should be.
I'm not looking at you're a black guy, you're a white guy, you got red hair. You know, you told me you were from California. I'll make a little joke to like about being from the left coast to kind of judge your sense of humor and how, you know, because I talk a lot of shit, but it's all love, so I don't want someone to take it the wrong way. But I never even noticed you had red. I know a guy named Kim, and he's 70 years old. He's a black dude. I didn't even know that and I swear to God, he's a light-skinned black guy, but I didn't even know he was black for like a year. Like, I knew he was like something. He's from Southern California. Yeah. He's a lighter-skinned black dude, but I saw a picture of him when he was younger in the 80s with his fucking Ranger shit on, and I was like, dude, are you black? He was like, what the fuck? I've known you for like a year. It never dawned on me because he's just like a fucking army guy. He's green. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly don't look at that. So I didn't even notice you had red hair until you put that picture when you
When I
got
was a kid.
No, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was, because because you got darker hair. It's
My hair
not
shit's
really
dark now. It's like auburn now, but still, I'm a ginger man. Period.
Yeah,
like a ginger, whatever the fuck that means.
looking like fucking Remy. Remy.
My whole life.
You know what though? I think that I'm surprised you're lucky you got in the military, because the way you get upset about things, I think I could pull you into my cult. I think I could pull you into my.
Here's the thing.
Hey
though.
man, you want to come to the KKK rally?
No,
Don't you
bro.
hate these people talking all this shit?
Not even.
And you'd be like, yeah, like Remy, like Michael Rappaport.
No, man. So my thing is, I get really, like I said, I know the solution for everyone to fucking be cool and get along. But when I see people out there being fucking narrow-minded and stupid, it bothers me, man.
Okay, so the first step to the solution, what you just said, was stop getting triggered by stuff. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I'm
but
naive.
another thing, too, is stop getting on the fucking internet and talking
No.
about a fucking race of people, period.
Well,
Stop doing it.
I say it's America, do whatever you want, even if I agree with. I may not agree with what you're saying, but you have every right to fucking say it.
Do this little, everyone do this little exercise in your head, all right?
Okay.
If you're going to say something specifically about a race on the fucking internet where thousands of people will see it, and you will influence people, and you might have a person who never hated someone or resented someone, but then they see that clip and all they're like, yeah, fuck that motherfucker. I'm going to go out and be an asshole, and I'm going to fuck someone's day up just because they're this fucking race. Get in your head and think of the target group you're talking about, and then fucking run it through all the races. And if it sounds at all fucked up with a different race, don't fucking say it. Don't fucking say it. Because that's not cool, man. We don't need to be saying that shit.
Well, you're right. You're right.
We don't need to be saying that shit anymore. Period.
Nobody. I don't see how anybody. I don't see how I can disagree with you. But I will just go back to say what the fuck you want.
Say what you want, but dude, if you want everyone to fucking like calm down and actually start,
but
getting
everybody
together,
does get. That's what I'm saying. Where is it,
dude? This shit's still keeping us divided,
dude. You know, when I was a fucking kid, interracial couples were like fucking 1 in a fucking 1,000, and
Now
it was
it's the
always a
norm.
fat white girl. You know what I'm saying? Now it's so normal that I see like normal Karens, you know, or normal fucking Billy Bobs married to a black chick that's not a black chick who maybe grew up. I've been talking about a girl, a black chick from inner city Detroit married to a fucking redneck from Dahlonega, Georgia. That's not. That will fucking surprise me. That one gets me sometimes. I'm like, what, really? Like, what does she see in him? Because traditionally, black women aren't really attracted to white men.
Well, okay. I guess my point too is if you want to start getting white people to like agree with you and actually look into your situation, stop fucking hating. All right.
Well, yeah, dude, that's universal.
Yeah,
stop.
but-
Like, all we're saying is give peace a chance.
It's the
but
cool thing now.
I don't think it really translates to real life as much as you
I think
so.
it does because people riot out like in these really heavy.
Those motherfuckers that are rioting, they're not out there rioting for justice. They're out there because they're fucking bored.
Yeah, they're
okay,
mad.
and they can fucking smash windows out and steal fucking Nikes or steal fucking Vans.
Which I don't have a problem with stealing Nikes. Fuck Nike, dude.
Well, I'm just saying, when you see this protesting going on and all, mostly peaceful protests, it's people just acting out. They're not really pissed off about the cause.
Right.
There might be a few out there, but the people that you see smiling, laughing, and going into Walmart and smashing windows, it's a smash and grab.
Yeah.
The same thing happened in every fucking riot that we've ever had in this country. The same thing happened. There's fucking looting, and people are going out there. So I even look at that like, that's not real people seeking justice. It's just not. I don't think it's real, man.
It's not justice.
You're
for sure.
not, and I say this because you're more reclusive, I guess. You're not reclusive. I'm not saying you're reclusive. You're more reclusive than I am. You stay in more. I am out every day. You know what I'm saying? And I never run into it. And I'm not dumb. I'm pretty street smart. Like I can fucking. That's why I do see. If I'm walking into a gas station and there's a jacked up truck and there's 4 fucking mullet, shirtless, cut off jean shorts, and of course I'm painting the redneck, right?
Yeah.
And they're drinking beer out of the can, and I got to walk past their truck, I am ready for them to say something or whistle at my old lady. I'm on guard. That's street smart. That's so I don't get fucking. If I'm walking down the street and there's 4 black dudes that look like they're drug dealers, I'm going to fucking be, okay, I'm going to be ready. Period. That don't make me a racist. It makes me street smart.
Right. Regardless.
If I'm in a fucking, say the same thing with white people. You got the fucking rednecks. Or if I see some fucking weirdo like Chris Rock, if a white teenager gets on the elevator, I'm getting the fuck off. But so I think about shit like that. When I saw a white guy the other day at fucking Lowe's and he was fucking on one. He was on.
Oh, you can tell when someone's
he was like buzzing around.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Makes
care
you
if he was
fucking
white
nervous,
or black,
man.
but the fact that he was a white guy made me think he was high on meth. Okay. When I see a black dude,
did you just assume his bender?
Yeah, I sure did.
No, that's a good one.
I don't think that being prejudiced is a bad thing. Prejudice, if you break it down, is prejudging. I can prejudge you before I know you, for my security.
If you think about it, prejudice is an ancient natural survival.
It is a natural thing. Now, being racist, which I've always tried to break that word down. Like, are we using it right? But to think that you are superior or you deserve better things because you're of your race, whatever race you are, but if you're a race of one race and you think that you're better and superior genetically and that you're more deserving, that is man-made and that's fucking wrong. Yeah. Tribalism is tribalism, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you're never going to stomp that out.
No,
and I don't care what you say. I don't care if you're on the internet talking about white people shouldn't have dreadlocks when actually black people wearing dreadlocks is actually cultural appropriation because that's a white person's thing. Dreads, yeah, naturally, because they couldn't afford combs. Combs was a luxury. And if you grow your hair out and never comb it, it'll lock up. Yeah. Black folks, that don't happen. They didn't lock their hair in African tribes. But even then, the people that are saying, oh, that's cultural appropriation, like, I don't care what you say. It doesn't affect me.
Well, no, it's only cultural appropriation. No. It's only, that's the thing that's fucking dumb. It's only cultural appropriation if a white person does it.
No, but it's only cultural appropriation on the internet.
If a white person does it.
Well, yeah, but like I said, we've already established that. The white folks are on it's our turn to be tied to the fucking whipping post.
Yeah, good, so be it.
Okay, so whatever, but
just
I'm saying,
keep scrolling.
It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect
unless
you.
You're a fucking empath.
Nobody walks when you walk outside, and I'm just assuming that when you go to the store, the person behind the counter is not rude to you just because you're white.
No, because
well, bro, that sucks.
It does suck. Because
that don't happen to me.
Well, you're also not a ginger.
Well, thank God.
Dude, it's like, see, and
that's okay for me. You know what's fucked up? It's okay for me to say, thank God I'm not a ginger. No one's mad at that. But if I said, thank God I'm not Asian, somebody's like, oh my God.
Exactly.
But I'm glad I'm not Asian.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not. I don't know why.
Well, that's fucking crazy, man. Like, do we ever think about, like, can we handle our, like, put yourself, like, if you were born,
I wouldn't mind being black, though. I wouldn't. I'm telling you. Well, maybe nowadays. Now looking at black culture, I think it's kind of retarded. But growing up as a kid,
this is the episode that's gonna fucking cancel us.
No, I'm talking about now. But as a kid,
I gotta piss like a motherfucker.
Put shit in. All right, you want to wrap this shit up?
Yeah.
I gotta go, man. I gotta get John.
We've been going.
It's 9:30.
What?
Well, because you showed up on time, we got about 2 hours, and it's only 9:30. It's not 10:30.
Dude, we still have a long way to go on discussion, but I feel good where we're at right now. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we made a lot of points tonight. I think we just kind of rambled.
No, we did make points. We went deeper than we've ever gone in the race.
I don't know. I think because the dog was kind of getting on my nerves. Who knew? We just had to cover the
fucking
cage
how
up.
dare you, dog?
Yeah, right.
Check your fucking privilege,
right.
Dog.
Privilege,
fucking dog privilege.
Dog privilege.
Dog privilege 2023.
I feel like tonight we just kind of rambled, but I guess it's going to show in the fucking the likes. And so shout out to everybody.
What's your? I want to start doing this, man. So, what's your like? What do you want to close on your thing? What do you want to? What word do you have out there for like everyone out there? What do you want to end on? What do you want to tell everyone?
I don't know how to put it into one word. I've been saying it over and over. I don't think it exists.
Okay.
I don't think that what you, and I think anybody watching this knows what, and there's probably a lot of people agreeing with you, black and white. Yeah. And I'm sure there's somebody who's not white that's like, well, it's not the same. Black people can't be racist. I mean, I hear it all the time, but the problem is you can feel however you want, and you can say whatever you want. I believe in free speech. I don't believe that what you see on the internet that pisses you off and triggers you, I don't believe that that's the norm. I don't think that's really happening. And it's happening here and there, I'm sure, but I think the norm is we're all fucking cool. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it. Yeah. I think that just keep scrolling and just, don't forget, you're a big proponent of freedom of speech, right? You believe in freedom of speech, right?
Yes, sir.
So then everybody has the right to say what they want, whether you agree with it or not. Now, if you want to engage with somebody over intellect, then so be it. But to get mad about it, I admit, I mean, I'm not perfect. I get mad about it too, but I remind myself that all I have to do is turn it off because of my experience when I go out in the world.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess I'm going to piggyback off that. The whole thing I want, man, I just want people to like, just stop saying shit like that, dude. There's no need for it.
Yeah.
Like, be cool, dude. We're all here. We're all in the same fucking shit sandwich together, man. Seriously, like you're not doing anything. You're not improving anything by being like that, period, by saying shit like that. No. You're not. And
well, they are if they're improving their own financial stability because they're making money on triggering you.
Yeah, but it's
getting likes and dislikes. You get money for both. So
it's not cool. And like, I want everyone to realize that you're doing the same thing that you're against. So don't have inclusive fucking accept me on your profile when you're going to go there and say like all white men who are married to Asian women are exploiting Asian women and deserve to die. Because that's what people are saying. And then you're going to turn around and say, oh.
I think that the assumption when you see a white guy with an Asian woman that is the immediate assumption. I think you go a little overboard with deserve to die.
No, people say that shit, man. People say that shit. Dude.
I'm sure they do on the internet, but like, do they really feel like you should be killed?
Yes, people do. Like, there's that journalist in the New York.
I was married to a Filipino for 7 years.
There was that journalist from the New York Times who was a Korean female who literally went and said, my whole purpose is to give like old white men heart attacks. Like, my whole point of this job, I want old white men to die.
I know, but listen, the whole point of her job was to get recognized as a journalist by saying some sensational shit.
Yeah, true. Fuck. But just be cool, man. Like, you're right. Keep scrolling. I will work on that.
Do we need to fucking start a campaign for ginger awareness? Is that really got me when I was like, you know what?
Bro,
I can't. I don't have red hair. You know, I've always been kind of a chameleon. Like I said, when I went to high school in New York City.
You can get away with a lot because, one, you're not blonde hair and blue-eyed. Mm-hmm. So you can go where people who hate blonde hair, blue-eyed people.
So you're saying I'm colored? I'm a man of color? Awesome. All right.
Okay, cool. But you're still...
That would explain the coolness.
Yeah. You can fit in a lot of places, man. You won't... You're the guy that can sit and blend in with everybody. And people... I mean, I hate to say this, but like... I don't hate this. I'm going to fucking say it. You can go stand with like a bunch of Puerto Rican and Hispanic dudes and no one will judge you. It's like my wife going to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. My wife has nothing to fucking do with Hawaii. My wife knows...
Polynesian, though. She's Polynesian. Filipino. Yeah.
Such a different culture.
Totally different culture, but looks-wise is what I'm saying.
The fact that not a word said... I had one cool neighbor who was half black and Hawaiian who every day would greet me and be like, what's up, Brad? And when she saw my wife, she's like, oh, your wife's here. Mm-hmm. I love that chick, man. She made me feel welcome when everybody else would fucking...
Do you ever think maybe that it wasn't them, that it was you and the way you interact with people?
I'm friendly,
like
man.
Maybe
I'm friendly, though, dude.
Because you are. You do. Matter of fact, you're friendly to a fault. Like, goddamn, shut the fuck up. I got to get my surfboard on the car.
Exactly. Like the other day at the beach.
Yeah. But maybe that was after the ice had already been broken. Maybe pre-ice, maybe you come off a little standoffish. So maybe they're thinking the same thing about you. Maybe they're thinking, oh man, we got to fucking, not only do we got a white guy.
Because I used to shave my head.
Yeah, because you got, I would say that black folks have a fucking reason to be suspicious about white people at first. And then they should get the fuck over it real quick, figure it out. But they're like suspicious, and then maybe you put off a vibe that, I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
I guess the point is, like, you know me, man. Like, fucking black, white, I don't fucking care.
I know you don't. Because I know you.
You come to my house and you need help, I'm going to fucking help you. You really, like, if you're a human being and you're struggling, I care about you, period. Right. I care about you if you're not struggling. I care about fucking people, man. It's how I'm wired.
Well, I think that you need to get out more.
I do get out.
I mean, like, I don't know, because what would you do? I just think my advice would be everything. Just scroll past it.
Yeah, just keep scrolling.
Watch the shit that you want to watch, not the shit that's gonna make you mad.
Well, the shit comes in. It
Scroll past it. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
I see it all the time. There's one guy, like, I swear to God, he lives in Alabama, and one night, he's a white guy, he's a white liberal. One night, he wouldn't say where he lived, but I watched enough of his videos just so I could see what was in the background to try to figure out where he was at. So because I was going to be driving through Alabama, I saw Interstate 85 sign behind one of his favorite restaurants, so I know Interstate 85. So I looked at all the town, and I would find that, and I wanted to go kick his ass.
See,
I was so mad.
You're telling me to let it go, but then you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but then I was ashamed of myself.
Right.
Then I was like, you know what?
Remember the denim thing?
What that guy just got from me was I went and watched all of his videos to try to find him so I could go kick his ass, but I didn't go kick his ass.
Right.
And then he still got a like, and that's about the time because I was pissed. Well, he went after me personally, and he's one of these fucking smug white liberals that talks like he's black. Yeah. Like, oh, the baking powder brigade. And then whenever he wants to fucking talk shit, he tags the one black guy he knows.
The one black guy he
knows.
The
one black guy he knows. And the black guy's like, like, don't drag me into this shit.
Doing that kind of shit is racist as fuck, too.
Well, it just shows how fucking, man. It's you can always tell white people that have not grown up or lived around, and they're not comfortable around black folks. Because there is a difference. There's not a difference in our genetic makeup, but there is a history and there is a cultural difference. And there's nothing wrong with that being different. We're not all the same. Right. And that's what I celebrate. When I go into a relationship with a person, not a fucking romantic one, but a relationship with a friend, I celebrate the fact that they're different than me. So I'm going to celebrate that by making fun of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when a black friend of mine comes over to the house, I will make sure that I reiterate that I left a wash rag with the new bar of soap. I'll laugh. I'll be like, don't worry. Because if you ever notice, white people, in general, don't use wash rags. Right. They use the soap
straight. Yeah, it's true. Dude, it's true. That's true. It's like washing meat. Do you wash your meat?
No.
I wash my meat.
I don't wash my
meat. I always have.
No.
My wife washes the meat.
Yeah.
And that's just a weird thing I did, man. I get these stupid fucking rabbit holes, and it was like,
I used to wash chicken with salt, like rub it to kill bacteria, but
But washing meat is a cultural thing, man, and like it's not a white cultural thing.
So there's differences. So I'll make fun of, like, if we're sitting around and there's one of my black homies and you're sitting around, I might make fun of the fact when I come out of your bathroom, I'll be like, yo, this motherfucker got pubic hair all over his soap. Right away, fucking you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it to be like superior. I'm doing it out of like love. Yeah. And that's just where I've always walked. But you are right. I had a group of friends in Brooklyn when I went to high school there in 10th grade. And probably about 3 months before they realized that I wasn't Hispanic. Yeah. Because I was hanging out. And Brooklyn was pretty segregated when I was there. Yeah. The Italian kids, the white kids. You were there during
like the Brooklyn Renaissance of like everything, man. Like that time.
Well, it was before. No, this was like 1994.
But 93. Brooklyn was still Brooklyn. It wasn't fucking.
It was still Brooklyn.
It wasn't fucking. Yeah. Oh my God, let's go to Brooklyn
like
and get tacos.
Red Hook was still the fucking projects when I was there. East New York was a fucking war zone. Yeah. Bedford-Stuyvesant was, if you went in there, you better be. If you were white and you went in there, you better know somebody and be down. Like you could. But same thing with like Yusef Hawkins and all that happened in the 80s. It was more racially charged in New York City than it that time than it was in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So when I go up there, I'm making friends. I don't care what race they are. I really don't, because I'm from Fayetteville. And it was about 3 months later that they realized that I wasn't. They just figured I was Hispanic and didn't speak Spanish because I was from North Carolina.
See?
Yeah. So anyway, let's end it because I got to pee and I got to get home.
Yeah, brother. Hey, man. Hey, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you. Show your support in any way.
I hope tonight was interesting for them.
It definitely was. Dude. Like I said, if we don't get fucking... Man, it got weird. It got weird for a second.
I'm going to try to get us canceled just based on your... Because at least I'm over here on like... We're not on the same side. Like I'm like trying to anchor like...
Based on me. Blame the ginger.
Yeah, blame the ginger.
The drag of fucking society.
All right, we're out of here, y'all. Thank you.
That's a good copy. We are out.
Yep. That's funny. Fucking ginger. You said rearrange the fucking words.
Literally, what is it?
Roger. I say again, line Lima, 3-8, Sierra, Papa Victor, 324, 429er. I'll copy.
Solid copy. Do you have any remarks? Over.